We are live, coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we are joined by Andy. Andy, how are you doing tonight?
What up? What up?
And we're also joined by Alex. Alex, how are you doing tonight?
Yo, yo, yo.
And we are here. We've made it. We've even tried starting this podcast, and it wasn't even recording, but we're here. Season 40, Battle of the Eras podcast preview show. I'm fired up. I don't know about you boys. I've been looking forward to a better season. We're on to a new era. We're here. Season 40. Andy, opening thoughts.
I mean, season 40 is crazy to say out loud. I mean, think about like if the challenge was a person and let's say they had their first kid early, like 16, that means the challenge could have a grandson, because especially knowing, the type of people in the challenge, they have a kid at 16. By the time that kid's 16, they have a kid. The challenge has a grandchild at this point. Like the fact that it has gone on for 40 seasons is absolutely bananas. I am all in on this season because this is it. This is when you go full tilt at a casino and you lose and you lose and you lose, and you're down to your last chip, your last like $100 or $500 chip that you put in your pocket to not touch ever again. And then you lose everything else and you say, all right, fuck it. It's going on one hand. Let's go. That's what season 40 is for me. I'm on full tilt, but I'm chips in the middle. Let's go. Seeing this cast list, doing my power rankings, I am so fired up. There's so many new faces, or so many good faces. Thankfully, no new faces, I don't think. It is going to be, it has to be, and it's going to be unreal.
I feel like it like you said, it has to be. Like the chips are all down. I don't know. I feel like the season, like the stock is so high, and that's why I'm nervous at the same time. But I'm excited for tonight's episode. Alex, opening thoughts.
I'm pumped. I don't think I've ever been this excited for a preview show since we started the podcast. It is the biggest season of all time, the biggest cast of all time, arguably one of the best casts. I mean, I don't think they filled 40 out of 40 spots with like awesome people, but they got pretty close. And even the people who aren't great, like we still know there's no rookie. So like at least we're familiar with literally every person on this cast. It's going to be fun. And, I don't want to look into the past. I don't want to look into the future saying like, if this challenge season is awesome, I don't think it means the challenge is necessarily back. And maybe we're just in the days where we get a good season every 10 seasons because they go all out, for the 30, 40, 50, whatever. But that's just like all the more reason to enjoy the fuck out of this one. Because we know 41 might go back to being shitty. Hopefully not. But like season 40 is right here. It might be the last time we see several of these heavy, heavy hitters all together in one roof. So I am absolutely fired up for this. It's the best season we've had in a while. So
I agree 100%. I will say the one thing I wish they would have done with the season, I'm fine with 40 people total. I wish they would have done 10 females, 10 males that are like the best of the best, the Bananas, the Jordans, the Wesses, the CTs. And then you just pair them up with like a fresh face or something. That's the only thing I would change about the season. I know Alex would be on board for that. I don't think Andy wants to see any fresh meat or fresh people or anything like that. But I know I see in the chat, like Ryan McCord already writing about it. Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree. I think that would be the only change I would have on the season. Besides that, this cast is by far the best cast they've had in 10 seasons since 30-30.
Let me go this route with you. First off, fuck you. Second off, who says no to season 40, Battle of the Eras? It's season 40. It's its own standalone being. Season 41, Dawn of a New Decade, Fresh Meat 3. But I do want to pose this question to you two. Is this the best cast ever when going into a season? And what I mean by that is looking back on some seasons, like I'm thinking like Jordan, for instance. Like Jordan for me, and I think for you two, is one of the top of all time. Like all-time.
Go ahead.
What was that?
I don't know. I think sounds like Alex is opening a soda or something.
Yeah, two
What?
sodas. Like looking back, you can say like Jordan's incredible, and his like free agents, for example, was insane. But he didn't have the like Jordan allure going into that season. All of these people have shown what they can produce, and it's stacked. So, is this the best cast list going into day one and current day zero ever?
Absolutely. I think so, without a doubt.
I think it very well could be, and it's such a unique cast list too, because they obviously the format is battle the era. So you have like one era that is 10 of the oldest people the show has ever seen, and then you have people who are from this past era that's kind of sucked, but like they're 2-3 seasons into the challenge. So like you're going to see somebody like fucking Tina, who was on Fresh Meat 1, competing against like Horacio. Like that's kind of weird just to think about right off the bat. Like usually, the seasons kind of go with whatever time frame it is. So I like that they have, such a wide range of people here. And that kind of just goes into the format itself is something that we've never quite seen. We've had 2 big teams before. Cutthroat, gave us 3 big teams. This is now 4. It's 4 teams of 10. And like, I mean, we can go a million different ways with that alone. Like, do you think they're going to stick on these teams the whole time? Do you think halfway through it's just going to be a solo game? Do you think they're going to go into elimination against other people on their team, other teams? Like, there's just so many ways you can go with such a big and 4x10 format like this.
I feel like the way they're going to go, though, like, doesn't it seem like you'll get that number down to, I don't know, if it's 8 guys, 8 girls, and just make it a free agents-esque game? I feel like that's kind of the bread and butter, right?
Go ahead.
Huh?
What?
What were you asking?
I think that's a very realistic possibility, but I could also see them going down to like 4 teams, and these 4 teams run the finals. And like maybe era 1 has like 2 guys and 2 girls left. Era 2 only has like 3 girls left. Era 3 has like 1 guy, 1 girl. Like I can see them, because that's kind of how Cutthroat ended too.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. How smirk would it be if they just go week by week and they don't even know? Like they're just kind of like, well, I guess era 1 still has 4 people left. Era 2 still has 4 people left. Era 3 has 3 and era 4 has 2. Let's just make it team by team by team. And then if it's like, oh, era 1's all eliminated, then let's just make it a free agents game.
What if
I could see that as a possibility?
What if Tej walks in, they see that they have their little 10s, and then he says, one of you, one of you, one of you, one of you. That's a team.
What do you mean?
Instead of 4 teams of 10, 10 teams of 4.
Oh, come on. They're not doing that. Dot.
I was going to say something. Javi was saying something. I told him to get ahead. Now I lost it.
Well, go ahead.
Wait, how did they do Battle of the Seasons? That was going to be my question. Wasn't it that's your season the entire way? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it was 8 teams of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then I started thinking 10 teams of 4.
So more teams, yeah.
But then what happens when like the Redemption House gets in play?
And no.
White Lotus season 3.
I will ask you guys this. Do we think, when does the season start? August 10th?
August 14th.
When is it?
14th.
August 14th. Do we think this season is still going in 2025?
There's no way.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
But there's 40 people.
There's 40 people. How many people are getting eliminated a week? 1?
Well, maybe that would come up in the props.
There's got to be.
Wait, we're doing props? Oh, God. I forgot about Stir the Prop.
Season preview show.
Classic me. That would have been my bet. No.
All right. Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be awesome. But if it's going on in 2020, I'm after December 31st, 2024, I'm done.
2024. December Christmas Eve?
December 31st. I'm not
Oh,
watching this in
24th.
2025.
But what if it's a good season?
What if it's the finale and you just skip the finale? It's like, I know some people don't watch like the Game of Thrones finale. They're just like, I'm good how it ends here.
It'd kind of be like when TJ says you do not want to go home right now, I'd just turn off my TV.
Oh, come on.
And he would probably say, you know what? That's fine. Focus on your mental health. Everything will be okay.
Come on.
Here's $10,000, like in a Mario Party bonus game when they throw that extra coin back.
God. Burger King hat or no?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. Moving on. I think we dive right in. Power rankings. Alex, I know you've been kind of the person that's collected all the data, added it in. So let's see if I can pull this up right now if you want to start explaining.
Yeah, so I feel like in our past season previews, we do the power rankings, and it kind of just depends on the format of the season. So what we decided to do is basically just take the 20 guys and 20 girls and rank them like irrespective of their teams, and then kind of build the teams back up from there. So what we have is we have all of the girls ranked based on our averages from 20 to 1, same thing with the guys. And then we can kind of go through each team and say, like, this is what era 1 looks like. Here's what we think their like collective, strengths and weaknesses are. And then for each person, then what we'll start with, we can just kind of start with, why we ranked them the way we did. There's 40 people, so we don't need to spend a ton of time on every single person. But just kind of talk about, what we're expecting and if we're glad to see this person back on. We have a lot of new faces. So I think we're going to be excited about revealing most of these names. So I say we dive right in.
Is this the first non-skip preview show?
There's a couple.
All right. Well, I think we dive right in here. Female power rankings. Here we go. Number 20. I feel like we should all be on the same page here. Like, there's only one answer we can go with, and let's see if we all agree.
And we're off.
And we're off. All right. The boys are aligned so far.
Anissa.
Okay. And that was talking Anissa. Should we go to 19? I mean, honestly, guys, why is she still doing this show?
She's got nothing else to do.
Paycheck.
Wasn't she a stripper? So when you're a stripper and then you turn like 40, she's not making any tips. She has it, as crazy as it is to say, she has a better chance to make more money going on the challenge right now and winning it than she does staying at home for 2 months and getting tips at a strip club. That's insane.
Yeah. Anything else, Alex, on Anissa?
I mean, I'm pretty sure this was the only 3-way unanimous ranking that we all had.
Oh, God.
At least we're all on the same page here.
One thing I do want to bring up before we start diving in, and I just thought about this, and I would love if somebody could go back and find the clip of us talking about this. I also love, this is completely off the rails, I love how this season has been kind of labeled as like season 40. Remember when who was it, Bananas and Jimmy Fallon talking, and we said, like, when has the challenge ever been like season 34, season 35, or whatever? Do you know what I'm talking about, Alex?
Yes, he was on with Fallon, and Fallon, I think, they must have been advertising for Invasion, and Fallon was acting like he was such a big challenge fan, and he was like, yeah, so tell us about it. You're like, I can't wait to watch you on season 29. Like, yes. Nobody ever just calls the seasons like that.
And here we are now. Was Jimmy Fallon ahead of all of us?
Some are saying yes.
Crazy. All right, diving in. Here we go. Number 19. We got Katie. Ooh, Andy. 13. Me and Alex on the same page. Andy, I'll give it to you first.
Yeah, so I when I made my list, I knew Katie was up there for me. I did not think she was going to get 19-19 out of you two. Katie's kind of just like a, like either your grandparents or like a neighbor. They have a dog, and it's usually like a small dog, and it yaps and it bites, and it's a terrible dog, but it lives until it's like 20. And even at 20, it's still yapping and biting. It is just a demon until it dies. That's how I view Katie. I think she is going to be like just a pain in the ass for everyone. I still think she, much like that 20-year-old dog, has a little bit of fight to her. And I think she's going to get under people's skin. I think she's going to be almost as she would in her prime. Maybe not her total prime, but maybe on the back nine, where she's not great, but people really hate her. They don't hate her and just like want to vote her off. They're like, I kind of don't want to pet the dog because it'll bite.
Interesting. I think Katie's just so bad. Right, Alex? I think you're on the same page picking her 19. I think era 1 is going to be, I think the alliances between, I don't even know if I want to say that now. I was going to say, I think the alliances between 2, 3, and 4, like the eras, are stronger than 1 with anybody. Right?
Or like making alliances across teams?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. 1 and 2 is pretty tight, but like.
Well, era 1 just has a lot of people like Katie who just haven't been on the show for a while. Like, yeah. I kind of see what both of you guys are saying. Like, I don't think Katie's that good. Obviously, I had her 19th out of 20, but like, I am hoping for like something out of her. I think she's married now. I think she did a couple seasons of All-Stars maybe. And so like what I'm hoping we get is like that one sort of late night fight where it's kind of like it's old Katie, but then you realize like you're 40 plus, you're married, you probably have a kid, like you probably still shouldn't be acting like old Katie, but that also kind of makes it more entertaining that you are. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, even if, she might lose an elimination pretty early on. Like, I think she has the potential to be entertaining and to be kind of something that we just haven't seen in a while because she hasn't been on in so long. And by the way, this is color coded, so you can see Katie and Anissa are on the same team there. So just
well, thank you
for anybody keeping track here.
Wow. I'm colorblind, so I can't see. So thanks. The problem I have too, and I let me know your thoughts. I feel like I think the number might be like 12. So like girls 1 through 12 are very Pac-12 after old Pac-12 after dark. Okay. And I think 20 through 13, and maybe my numbers are a little off. 20 through 13 is like Iowa offense. Like I just feel like the game is just so much slower for them.
I like that.
Thoughts?
And I think I think you probably have like a top 4 or 5 girls in this season that are like the SEC.
Yeah, like, I think there's 4 to 5. I think there's 4 definitely, but we'll get into that. All right, 18. Ooh, okay. So I think this might be the little flip-flop with me and Andy right there. Alex just trying to agree with everybody. I think Tina, for me, I was watching All-Stars, and maybe it's just a recency bias, and I didn't think she was that bad. And I didn't want to just keep rating old school people last because there's no way they're going to pick them off, old school 1, old school 2, old school 3, whatever, so on and so forth. So I think that's why I gave her a little bump, but I didn't want to crack her in the top 10.
I mean, that was my exact thought process for Katie.
Yeah, just swip swap. So curious, Alex, you picking her 18. I mean, right now you're 3 for 3, and the rating is kind of sketchy.
For me,
he was the one who pulled all this together, by the way.
Yeah, he looked at our list and was like, what are their averages? If I add an 18 here, this is perfect.
Mine's just going to be 17 all the way up to 1.
Come on.
Tina, I think it's very similar to the way I feel about Katie. Like, she hasn't done the seasons in a while, but like when she did them, she was somebody that was loud in your face. She still looks pretty good for her age. So I mean, I don't know what her marital status is. Could she fool around with somebody like Tony? You never know. But like some moment where she can like come on and fight with someone or win an elimination. That's what I'm hoping for. But like still, there's such a need to prove something for these older people who also like we put Anissa last because she is old, but we know exactly what's going to happen with her. Like take Katie, Tina, like they just haven't done this show in so long that like who knows how good they're going to be or not.
Yeah. Andy, anything?
No. I mean, I like how this list looks so far. And I like that you took a kind of a flyer pick like I did.
Okay. 17.
Not just picking chalk like some people.
All right.
They're
Smart.
just averages.
Whoa.
Oh, not so fast.
Not so fast at all. Jody, 9, 18, 19. 18, 19.
I think
Alex.
Jody's good.
Okay.
I think Jody's good. I think of the old time females, there's, in my opinion, 2 good ones, 3 bad ones. Or I think, in compared to what we think was going to happen. Jody is somebody who on Duel 1, I know that was fucking over 14 years ago at this point. She destroyed it. And she was like the number one, like girls working on their own. She beat all of them. She's looked good on, I think, 1 All-Star season that she did. So I don't know, maybe 9 is a little too high, but like I always said, I kind of wanted to mix around the teams. So I wanted someone from Era 1 to be a little higher, someone from Era 2, 3 a little lower. And I just think out of this crop of females on Era 1, I think Jody has the potential to really make some noise. But why am I wrong? Why you guys have her 18, 19?
To be honest, I just don't know that much about her.
Same.
So it was hard for me picking. Like, I mean, those seasons were so long ago, and I've only seen them like one time through. So like, it was hard for me to rank her anywhere else.
And I want to preface with all my picks, I don't watch any of the All-Star bullshit. The challenge gets enough of my time. So when I see Jody and I see her cast picture, I'm thinking she just looks like a mom. Like, that's it. Like Tina, Katie, like, yeah, they are moms. I don't know if Tina's a mom, but they don't necessarily look like it. Like, I can see them getting back into their challenge mode. I don't see that with Jody. She just looks like a mom, and she just like won a raffle to be on the show.
Okay. We'll see. I think she's good.
All right, moving on. 16. Oh, not so fast. Tied for 15. Aviv and Joanna. No, I can't. I don't know. I'm hammered. What are her thoughts? Aviv first. I had her higher. She won Fresh Meat with Darrell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we seen her on another season since then?
No.
I don't think so.
Aviv is gonna set the record for longest gap between seasons. She hasn't done the show in 18 years.
I love that.
18.
I love that.
I mean, Aviv I had her 17th overall. She is one of the most interesting people on this cast because of that exact reason. She hasn't been on in so long. We know she has, or she at least at one point in her life had the ability to like run and have endurance and be somewhat athletic to win with Darrell. But like, she doesn't have a second backup season that she did after that or anything else. So this is just one of the most fascinating things. Like, I think Aviv could come on and like be fucking terrible and go home episode 1. I could also see her like, winning a couple eliminations against like smaller girls or like something like that. Like, I don't know. I think the range of outcomes with her is very wide here.
I agree. And isn't this her second season ever? Because it was Fresh Meat and she was the Fresh Meat.
Yes.
I didn't put much thought into that because I thought she would have snuck into another season. You're spot on. Who's to say she doesn't win at all?
Oh, come on.
She's batting 1,000.
That's the thing. She could. She's done it before.
Well, and just what kind of smirky thing is, if you read it backwards, her name is Viva. So Viva Aviv.
Come on.
I'm all in on Aviv.
And she has her Fresh Meat partner on the show. They're not on the same team, but they're
Alliance.
both.
Alliance is strong. Some might say the alliance in this STP is strong as well.
Hot.
All right, John A. 15.
There you go.
Johanna, 15. Honestly, the vibe I get from her is just her. Like every time I picture her, I just think of the team with her and Zach for whatever reason. And correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. She has been killing it in All Stars, like a couple times. I don't know. The problem is I'm just so like caught up on her, like in her real challenge experience, I guess. Flagship shows.
And
I don't
that's
know.
she's another interesting one because I feel like a lot of the people that have done All Stars that are on like this cast are a lot of the super old people. John A was someone who for like 4, 5, 6 seasons was like always one of the like middle of the pack girls, and then she just like stopped doing the show for a while. She came back for All Stars. She won 2 All Star seasons, and there's only been 4 of them. So she won like, and I think I don't know if she did a third one or not, but like she came back and got 2 gold medals on All Stars, which those don't count. They're not real rings, but like she is kind of back in the mix, and so that's why she's one of the more interesting people on the show because she hasn't done the flagship in so long, but like she's shown that she's still in like pretty good shape. And the fact that she never won early on in her career, but now, you know, is winning in other shows, like, again, like who knows?
Andy, anything?
Yeah, John A just always looks like she doesn't want to be there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, she just kind of like goes through the motions.
Yeah, and she's not bad, but you could, and again, I don't watch that All-Stars bullshit, but there could be a scenario where people think, like when they look at the older people and they say, oh, you know, John A, she's good. She just won All-Stars. Like it could put a little bit of a target on her back.
Absolutely.
And I don't think she has many tight alliances.
Oh, my fault. I hit the space bar. I wasn't trying to. I was trying to slide it over. Well, we might as well just go into 14.
Michelle
being 14. I just think she sucks after last season, and that's why I threw her 17. Like she's a pretty good competitor. Played Survivor. I think Andy still has a crush on her, right?
She's bad.
She sounds kind of bad. Alex giving her a top 10 nod. I don't know. I just think after last season, her and Jay just pissed me off so much. She kind of gives me that vibe, and that's why I rated her so low.
I like Michelle. I think she's had a few like interesting seasons, and I think last season she got the unfortunate STP dislike bump of just like being connected to Jay so much. I think of anybody on this team, Era 4, I can't remember exactly what my rankings were, but like I don't think Michelle is the best person on that team. But if the format allows for it to be like a very political game, like Michelle, even though she's not the best girl on Era 4, she's probably going to be the one calling the shots on Era 4. So like I think she's going to be in a good spot. She's going to have people tied to her. I think she's going to be smart socially, connecting with other teams. And, you know, I'm hoping that I'm rooting for her more this season compared to last season.
And I'm curious how she's going to be without Jay, too.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. So, Andy?
Yeah, I mean, that's spot on. The Michelle we saw last season is not the real Michelle, in my opinion. And she's not going to be on her own because she does have some other alliances that are in this cast. And she does seem to be very good at faking friendships, which is good for the show. It'll be interesting to see if we get a little politicking out of her.
Who was the guy last year?
Callum?
Yeah.
Wilson.
I wonder if they kept in
Wilson.
touch. Do you think they kept in touch?
Oh, come on. He had a girlfriend, remember?
But I think 14 is the right way to put it. I had her lowest of the Era 4 because I don't think she's going to have numbers on her side. She'll get by for a little bit, and she might. I would say if she gets out around this time, I think she'll win one elimination against one of the geriatrics, and then lose going against someone who's decent.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening.
All right, moving on. Ooh. Wow. I'm kind of pissed off at you guys.
Trev, do one more to see the tie. There we go.
All right. So Amanda and Avery. Here's the thing about Avery. Avery is not that good, but she gets a +5 boost for her looks from
Plus
Trev.
5?
Yeah, I mean, come on. She's throwing 99 easily.
That's true.
I mean, come on, boys. Like, this is for our sake to keep her on the show longer.
I don't know what needs to happen, but they need to give her a blank check and say, we want you back every season, because Avery is bad. And you're right, Trev. She was throwing 100 back in the day. And this is the first time we're going to see her on a challenge in a while. And she's still going to be bringing the heat. Like, there's not going to be a dip in performance. Granted, she might suck in the actual when it comes to performance, but that's not the performance we care about. She's going to come out. Oh, she's coming out in the bullpen right now. She was like a starter, like your ace, your old reliable to throw out there at the start of a rotation. Then she got moved to the bullpen because of age. Then she comes out there and she's just Mariano Rivera. So I could not be happier to see her on this season.
God, you had her 17, though.
I think she sucks.
Oh, come on.
But bad. But she's not. She's also bad.
If this was a power rankings of like people who we quite literally want to see on our screens week to week, Avery would be like top 5, maybe top 1. Avery is awesome. She was throwing the heat on All-Stars. She was on the last All-Stars, actually made it pretty far. And she only did 2 flagship seasons where she was stuck with Johnny Riley. They actually did pretty well, won a couple eliminations. And then on Rivals 3, she got sent home because of Leroy's back. So, like, I don't think she's an awesome challenger, but, like, it's not like we have this track record where Avery, you know, was on her own and going home first, like, season after season.
Let me go this route with you. Out of every girl that we have seen so far, is she number 1 that you would want to see?
Yes.
Okay.
Easy.
So why is she 17 on your list?
It's between her and Anissa.
Oh, come on.
I think if I were to pick one former contestant in terms of just like who I want to watch, I think Avery would be number 1.
No, stop it.
I'm serious.
What happened to Gabby?
There's a lot of heavy hitters up there, but
Old reliable.
Avery's a different breed.
God. All right, Amanda.
And when did she – has anyone seen any pictures of Avery? When did she win a challenge?
She didn't. Oh, come on. That was good. That was very good. 1 clap. Moving on. Amanda. 13, 15, 12 across the board. Pretty close from all of us. I mean, Amanda, she's another person. What is she? She goes like this or whatever. She sucks. God,
Amanda,
I think of her and Zach.
You thought of John A. and Zach.
Yeah, and I think of her and Zach when they didn't. What's it called? They didn't want
agree on a pick.
Yeah, so they went down in the elimination and went home.
That was awesome.
I feel like anytime we see Amanda on our power rankings, it means we are in the prime middle of the pack. Yes. Like, she is somebody that will make it a few episodes. She might like do something slightly impressive. She's going to start shit. She's going to be, desperate for the cameras. I think doesn't she have a kid?
Yes.
Yeah. Come on.
She has a kid, and, she likes to play that up. And then you come on and she's, hooking up with Fezzi. Like, that actually happened. So I think she's somebody who's just acts the rare reality person on the challenge who like acts like they're better than the challenge, but still comes back to the challenge every single season.
Correct.
Am I the only one who watched the home turf of her?
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I forgot about that. I can't remember if I did.
It's very forgetful. He's just and here's the thing. Back in the day, Amanda used to just stir up drama because that was her personality. I feel like now she's going to feel like she has to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where I feel like because she's older, she does have a kid. She works in a fucking jail. I think she's not going to be like as overly naturally drawn to the drama and the arguing and all the fighting and bullshit. But I think she's going to feel like she needs to. And I think it's going to be kind of sad because it's like, you're not the same Amanda. Grow up. All these clowns need to grow up. Avery excluded.
I'm confused. So you're telling me, Andy, you watched Home Turf, Amanda, and you're not watching the Challenge All Stars?
Yes.
I mean, come on.
It was 20 minutes.
You watch Home Turf, Amanda. What's her last name? Like Garcia?
Binds.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's
20
a
minutes
great
in and
point,
out.
Trev.
Jesus. All right, 11. Ooh, friend of the program. Kellyanne. Andy, 11. I like it. Spot.
She's pretty bad.
She is pretty bad. She is like, this might come off as disrespectful. She might be the JV version. She's kind of like a twin, like similar game style, just older version of Avery.
I thought you were going to say Michelle.
No, like I think I think Avery's way hotter, but like Kellyanne back in the day was very bad. And I think Kellyanne, like their gameplay, like they're both not that good competitors, but they're kind of just there.
I think Kellyanne's kind of a good competitor.
Kellyanne, she's kind of like Kirk Cousins.
Oh, come on. Well, he's making how much money? 320 mil?
She's someone that you can win with, but you're not necessarily winning because of her. But like if you get stuck with Kellyanne, you could probably do a lot worse.
Here's the thing, Alex. The most memorable Kellyanne moment, besides her podcast with us, which you can go on Spotify right now and listen to, Legends Tour Kellyanne, but her best moment isn't even with her. It's with her cousin when Bananas is doing a little puppet string behind and he gets thrown into an elimination 20 minutes later. God.
So the last time we saw Kellyanne was on the flagship was Rivals 3.
Yeah.
And her partner was Jamie, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to have her back. She's a fun, familiar face.
She is a good. I like having Kellyanne back for sure. She's a really good competitor. I worry with the kind of the top 10 once we get into it. Like I just think there's like another level to it. So.
Oh yeah.
So here we go.
Well,
no, you can go. I'm not saying anything. Go ahead.
Well, can we go back? So one last thing that there we go. When I was doing my power rankings, no.
All right.
Stop.
Andy, let's go.
Are you done?
I'm done. You got me.
I think Kellyanne's beating any of these other girls in an elimination.
Well, you have her.
I don't know.
I know, but that's like I would bunch my power rankings together and then obviously think about overall, game alliances, you name it. But then it came down to who do I think is going to win, Kellyanne or Amanda? I'm taking Kellyanne.
It is kind of funny though, because if you look at all the girls in this range, like they're all similar style, similar makeup. Like they're all kind of that type of girl who's like thinner in shape, not super physical, but like could maybe win like something in slightly endurance based, but like also could like move some weight. Like I don't know. I think this pack of girls here is all very close.
Yeah, I agree. All right, can I click? Ooh, Alex, 15 from Olivia.
I don't know about Olivia. I'll be honest. When I finished my power rankings, I was a little surprised I had her that low, but I don't know. Like, is Olivia that good?
So you're telling me you had Michelle, I mean, John A, like, I don't know. I was just looking there.
So we have a 2-season sample size of Olivia. She made it to the final with Horacio as a rookie, and then last season she made it. Did she make it to the final or make it close? I think she made the final.
When? 2 years ago?
No, last season.
Did she?
Well, remember her big thing last season was when she backstabbed Nerys, and she went.
I think she lost like the episode right before the finals. Like,
Did
wasn't it Nerys?
Nerys beat her, right?
Yeah, Nerys and
Yeah.
her and somebody else.
So like Olivia made it very far last season, but it was because, I mean, she played a decent social game, but the format was just so weird. And Horacio, I think, is going to just continue to prove to be like the one who really carried most of the weight that on that team. I just look, and I'm not saying Olivia's bad. Like, that's the thing I like about this whole cast. Like, well, she has. Fun fact about Olivia: we're going on her 3rd season with her 3rd different hair color. But I don't think Olivia is like terrible. I know I have her 15th, but like I do think this is just a deep, well-rounded cast. So like, would it surprise me if Olivia made the final again? Like, not really, but like, I just don't think she's like as good as some of the girls in that previous slide who have like kind of consistently proved to be middle of the pack.
I don't know. I think Olivia definitely makes it past the halfway point. That's just me.
And me. And I mean, she's good. Let's not overlook. Look at her rookie season. Don't look at last season. Look at her rookie season.
Look at her partner.
We know in most guy-girl duos, it's led by how good the girl is. Not all the time, but more often than not, if you have a good girl partner, as long as the guy is above average, they will go far.
Yeah.
I don't think she's bad.
You have her 15th.
Yeah, I just said I think the cast is really deep.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting to see who you have ahead of her, which also included people below.
Speaking of people in front, Naya, me and Andy, swip swap with the 9/8. Alex has her 12. I love Hurricane Naya. I think Naya is really good. Obviously, her biggest weakness, I think her biggest weakness is kind of like that platform. Like, she can't stand on platforms for whatever it is. I think, what season was she on where she kind of just gives up above the water? Like, she refuses to stand on like platforms.
Was that a continual weakness of her game?
Yeah, I think it's happened twice.
Oh, has it?
Yes, I think it's been 2 times.
So it's kind of like Isaac with the sand.
Yes, exactly.
Anaya just doesn't do platforms.
Well, she doesn't do heights.
Okay.
She's like scared. Like, she was scared running across like the one. I mean, when has the challenge ever done something above water, or when have they ever done something with like, you're strapped in running across? She doesn't do that. So I think in the finals, though, if she can make it to a finals, I mean, that helps, because you're probably not going to have that in the finals. Normally, it's an endurance thing.
Yeah,
but I think head to head, Naya's like one of the badass people. Like, I don't want to see that her in like a hall brawl or anything, or a pole wrestle.
I think she's a very intimidating physical competitor, especially in like one-on-one scenarios. She hasn't done the challenge in a while, so I'm not giving her the benefit of the doubt quite just yet. I want to see how she looks, and she's only done 2 flagship seasons. Like, I want to see how she plays a political game, if she can run at this point. Like, I just think back to Naya, and I think of her winning physical eliminations with Leroy as her partner, and then calling Nani a slut and like stepping up on the table and yelling at her. Like, that's kind of what comes to mind with Naya. I think she's a bit more calmed down since that point, but like, I just want to see what she's like first.
Has she ever done a season with Avery?
Rival or X's2 and Portland.
Well, what I'm saying is from Portland, because they got in that huge fight.
Yeah, they will. I think they made up X's too, because they made up, I think, over their hatred of Nani.
Can I throw something out there now that we're in the top 10 of one thing that I didn't really think about, but someone mentioned in the chat. Mikey the Doctor. It's a valid point. He says, don't forget 85% of the eliminations nowadays are puzzles. He's kind of right. And for like the two people that I'm thinking about is obviously like Naya in this instinct, where like she is a very good physical competitor. But in the puzzle, am I taking her or John A? I'm taking John A all day. So it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. You know what I mean? Like I did my power rankings without factoring that in. Like I think John A is very good at puzzles, probably a puzzle queen, one of the dozen. But I didn't really factor that into my rankings. I just want to throw that out there.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. 8. Nerys. Ooh. Here's the thing.
For Nerys.
Yeah, no. I wanted one bold prediction. And last season, I said Nerys was rookie of the year, or not rookie of the year. I said she was female MVP of the year. For whatever reason, I have a feeling this is not her season. I just have that vibe. Like she'll go out early.
Okay.
I'm just getting that vibe. So.
You know, rule number 1 is go with your gut. But you've got Nerys ahead of Olivia. I don't like that. I think that's wrong. Like, not just like
I'm not saying. I just think Nerys will be out before Olivia.
All right.
Sometimes you just get those vibes.
Yeah, I don't hate a vibes pick at all. But I think, especially coming off last season.
I mean, yeah, she was my MVP. She won my MVP. I get it. I just have that feeling. I don't know why.
All right.
Look, Nerys was awesome last season, especially towards the end. But, like, it's not like she has a 5-season track record of, like, you know, sending girls home. So, like, I think Nerys is a good challenger. We have her 8th on our average rankings here. She could end up, I feel like, anywhere, you know, between the 3rd to like 13th range. I don't know.
Let me go this route with you.
Almost won.
And I'm just curious. Which season or which era, excuse me, is going to be targeted the most? It's got to be 4, right?
I think so.
Or would you put 1? I think 2 and 3 we can all agree are, and I know we said it on the last pod, 2 and 3 are better than 1 and 4. But I think 4 might be the most targeted team.
I agree.
God, what are you clowns watching? You're turning the head, looking at the exact same time. It's almost like you guys are watching an IU basketball game or something.
God, I think you're right, because I think the other 3 have a lot of alliances that bleed over between the teams, where I don't think that's necessarily the case with Era 4.
Okay. Alex?
I agree.
Oh, come on. That's it?
I like Nerys. I think she is one of the best challengers overall in this game. I think she can be a leader on Era 4, but it'd also be interesting to see how she gels with the Olivias, Michelles of the world. Like, it's not like she has a super tight alliance or anything.
Correct. All right, moving on. Rachel, 7. 6 for me, 10 for Andy, and 7 for Alex. Alex, again, you know, it's kind of sketchy. Back to back again, picking 7, 8. Thoughts? Andy picking her 10.
Yeah, I think 10's the right pick.
Ooh.
Is she still probably pretty good? Yes. Does she look like she's in good shape? Yes. Is she still 40? Yes. That's kind of my logic there. I don't want to get put off by the fact that she's still in good shape. She looks good. She's old. She's old.
I don't hate that logic, and that logic is why I have her as God. That's why I have her as the highest female on Era 4. But like she is old. Like she still does have to prove that she's still in good shape. And so it'll just be interesting to see how she plays with someone like Nerys, who like Nerys is a decade younger, like in really good shape, but like Rachel at her peak back in the day compared to Nerys right now, like Rachel would be 10 spots ahead of her on the power rankings. But like it is 2024. Like Rachel is old. So like I think that's why I just had her like pretty high here at 7. Because I think she, out of anybody on Era 4, like has the best shot of like being one of the best girls in the game.
Yeah. I think Dabu writes something very important that I see. Rachel's 40 ain't Anissa 40. Like, I'm not saying she's Tom Brady by any means, but age is just a number. You might still have it.
When was the last time we've seen her?
Well, for me, All-Stars.
God. What Dabu's saying is right, but is like for me, for instance, look at these other 3. I'm taking a 25-year-old Nerys over a 40-year-old Rachel any day of the week. She's got 15 years on her.
Okay.
That's where like my logic of having Rachel at 10, and I think
let me go this route.
Hold on. No. Because you brought up the All-Stars bullshit. One thing aside from just the physicality of the challenge that these 40-year-olds are in a rude awakening for is they're not 30, they're not 25 anymore. They have to live with these people. They have to put up with their bullshit. It is not a fun environment for a 40-year-old to just live in, let alone compete in. And I think that's going to get a lot of these old people breaking.
Let me go this route with you. You said age there between a 25-year-old Nerys and a 40-year-old Rachel. Who would you rather have at quarterback? Anthony Richardson or Aaron Rodgers for your team right now?
Rachel isn't Rodgers.
I'm just saying.
How many titles does she have?
I'm Andy. I'm just asking the question.
I'm asking you because I think there is this Rachel's not good. She's not an all-time competitor. She's not. When you talk about all-time girls, there's a reason why Emily's name hasn't been shown, even though they're probably similar ages. But Rachel is not in the conversation for the best females of all time. That's a fact.
She's still a good competitor.
Exactly.
Okay.
And a good competitor who's 40 is not someone I'm having going high.
I actually think Rachel to Aaron Rodgers is closer than you think.
Based on what? What has Rachel done? I'm just asking. Literally asking.
Rachel has more rings than Aaron Rodgers. And that's just a fact.
That's why I'm at. Like, what has she done?
She has 2 wins.
And when were they?
I don't know. 15 years ago.
Exactly.
When was the last time Aaron Rodgers won? 15 years ago. So answer my question. Would you rather have AR or AR at quarterback?
That's a terrible comparison.
I just wanted an answer, and you still didn't give me one.
Rodgers is viewed as still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Rachel was like, even in Rachel's prime, she was scraping the best of her time conversation.
I think Rachel's peaking more now.
Oh my God.
I might say she's in her prime now.
Who's next? This is talking in circles.
So in all seriousness, can you give me who would you rather have a quarterback, Anthony Richardson or Aaron Rodgers?
Your comparison is off the table.
I just want to know. I don't care about the comparison. I just want to know your answer for that question. That's all I'm asking.
I'm taking Rodgers, and Rachel is not Rodgers. Rachel is not Rodgers.
That's all I needed. All right, number 6, Casey. Alex goes 6. I go 10. Andy goes 5. Fuck Casey. She's attached to that Fezzy bitch. I can't believe you have her that high. The disrespect to this podcast. Get her out of here.
Casey is good.
What?
I hate Casey. She's incredibly boring
She's not a fun character. She's not someone who you see Casey's on the season and you're like, oh yeah, let's go Casey. But like, she is good at the challenge. She has what, 4 seasons in a ring? I think 3 finals. Like,
Yeah, against Muppets.
What?
Against Muppets. I mean, all the people she's won against has been shit. Wasn't she on? She wasn't on last season. What was her last season? She 2 seasons ago, and she lost. That wasn't when Fezzi quit on her, right?
No, she was with Kenny, her cousin, or brother, or whatever the fuck he was.
HBO Max.
Trev,
God.
the fact that you have Rachel over Casey, like, do you watch the challenge? Casey is a very, very, very good competitor, objectively, whether you like her or not.
I'm just saying. I don't think Casey beats Rachel this season. I think Rachel finishes higher than Casey. I'll say it.
Well, yeah, that's how you
4 spots. I feel great about that.
You think Casey's going to get out 4 episodes before Rachel?
Well, if it's male female episodes, single eliminations, then 8. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the top 5.
All right, top 5. All right, here we go. We're back on the tracks. Tori being 5. Good competitor. I just think the people above her are just better. I think she's good.
You could say that about any person.
No, I'm just saying. I think 1 through 5 for me is very close. I think we all know who my number 1 is, but like 2, 3, 4, like in 5, they're. I could make an argument for any of these positions. I think closer than like 6 through 10.
I agree. I actually definitely agree.
Yeah,
because I think at this point there's no wrong answer in my opinion. Am I the only one that watched Tori's home turf?
God, enough. Home turf.
It was very uneventful. I think she had a home turf. I honestly don't even fully remember, but I think she did.
I think she did too.
And I think she FaceTimed Devin.
Tori won the last season that she did. Like, she is kind of, her and Devin, since Amanda Wall isn't here, they're kind of the reigning champs. And Tori, I think this is the perfect spot for her because I think because she won her last season, I think she kind of evolves above that middle of the pack. You know, the Amandas, John A's, whoever else the fuck of the world. And she's kind of right on this border of like very, very best girls in the game right now. And she's one of them, but like she's not top 3, but like she absolutely deserves to be this high.
Yeah. I think Tori's in a scenario where she has a very high floor and her ceiling is strictly determined on how the format shakes out. And again, we don't know what that looks like, but if it gets like there's 10 people left, or let's say 7 girls left, however the format is going to determine she could win it all. If it's structured for her to be on a good team and be a contributor, she's going to go all the way. But if it's one-on-one, woman against woman, I think there's better competitors.
Fair enough. 4th spot. Jenny. I think this is the wild card. I think Jenny could honestly win the season. Like, she is damn good. She's fit. She looks great. And she's a good competitor. Like, it's hard for me. I mean, we're all in agreement. I guess, no, you guys aren't in agreement. Alex has somebody at 4 and Andy has somebody at 4. I really think 1, 2, and 3 are like, I don't know. I'll let you guys finish about Jenny first.
Jenny's awesome. I think she's could end up winning the season. I don't think any of us would be surprised. And she's not like the most fun TV character compared to the 3 names that we're going to see above here. But like, she is that kind of, I feel like in this challenge, this such a big season, like it helps her and hurts her because she doesn't necessarily have like the backstory or the rivalries with people on other teams. Like, people on other teams won't even know who Jenny is. And so maybe they don't like see her as as much of a threat as she should. And she's just kind of this strong, robotic, like one of the best girls in the game. And we've been kind of begging for her to come back since she won Total Madness, and now we finally get it.
Let me go this route with you. Who's her strongest ally on her team?
Probably Theo.
Welcome
UK
back.
connection. I don't even know if they know each other.
I mean, could that? I mean, I think that might come into play. Like, if they're the first team, but who's I guess in the elimination floor or whatever, killing floor, whatever we want to call it, and it's like a vote system. Could she actually be the first girl voted in if Team 4? Because the other four girls are more like connected, I guess, right?
They have
Probably.
yeah, they've all done more seasons with each other.
Yeah, so they all know each other. So like if that team had, and I obviously we don't know the format, but if that team has to vote in somebody from their team, she could go in episode 1. Now, would I think she would actually go home? No. I think Jenny can literally beat anybody in the season.
Yeah, I think we're at that point in our rankings.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, moving on. 3. Cara. Alex, 2. You want to give it first?
I love Cara. Not as a person, not as a person to watch, but like I think she's just such a good challenger, and we haven't seen her in a few seasons, but she I think made the final like the 4th last season she did. Like she was on an awesome streak, then she kind of got her head up Paulie's ass. I think that was an LVP pick. But she's just good. She's good at one-on-one elimination. She's become much better on like challenges, endurance, like staying a little bit more calm under pressure. Like, I mean, we just said we're in this kind of range where like anybody could win the season at this point. Like Cara, I think the most interesting thing about her on the season is just all the people that she's connected to. A few guys, a few girls, but like I just think she's just really, really good. I think she's close to her apex mountain.
Andy, 4th.
Give me Jenny over Cara.
There,
I said it. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I don't. I do think you can draw a line between Jenny and Tori, and the top 4. I think you could intermingle however you want.
go ahead.
I think Cara's still very good. I do love Cara. She went through that Paulie bullshit. She went through her Paulie era. Am I the only one who watched the Cara home turn?
Oh my
Enough
God.
of the home turn.
God.
She's a big horse girl. I don't even know what else happened on there, but she's in phenomenal shape. She could beat the shit out of any one of us.
I mean, she has the experience. She has the alliances. I think, especially that team, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, Era 2 by far has the best females. Yes. And I think the way it's looking like, I think 1 and 2 are both from that era too. Like, I just think that team of females are just so damn good. So Alex has, looking at his chart, he has a 1 and a 4 left. I have a 1 and 2, and Andy has a 1 and 2.
What one last thing on Cara, because it's almost one of those like Mandela effect things for me where you hear it and it's like that I know that's right, but there's no way that's right. The fact that Cara and Darrell didn't win Fresh Meat 2, and not only that, they went out first, is absolutely insanity. Like, that should be illegal.
I mean, let's be real. Like, we are very lucky Cara got another season.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
So, all right. 1 and 2.
You're right. 1 and 2 still available. How we look.
Let's see them both.
See them both? All right, here we go. Wow. Are you kidding me? Wow. The disrespect.
Emily and Laurel.
I mean.
So
I did it for you, Trev. I did it for you. I want that on the record.
I mean, Emily is just so bad and so good. I love Emily. And the fact that Alex has her 4, and like I said, 1 through 4, you can kind of mix and match anywhere. It hurts. I'm not going to lie, Alex. It does hurt a little. And her being second and Laurel being first, it's tight. It's tight. This is close. It's crazy how close this was for number 1.
I think this top 4 females list is insane. I think they're all awesome. I obviously put Emily below Laurel, Cara, and Ginny, and I just give all 3 of those girls like the slight nod because we've all seen them much more recently than Emily. And Emily, I know she's a beast. I know she's still in great shape, but her last season was 10 years ago, I think, Rivals 2.
Well, Champs vs. Pros.
Well, whatever. And I think going back to something
she won that.
I know. Going back to something Andy mentioned earlier, like I don't think my concern with Emily isn't like I want to see that she's still in shape. I know she's still in great shape. I'm more concerned about Emily being a normal person for the last 8 years and then coming into a challenge house and having to live with 39 of these lunatics. Like there's just something to be said for being away from the game for that long. No,
I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see who she interacts with too. Who is she going to make an alliance with? Is it? I mean, we know one guy who's going to be rounding her up, but who else?
Who's the one guy?
The Banana Man. Come on.
Aren't they on the same team?
Yes.
So we've got the top 3 girls all on the same team, and we're about to talk about guys too, but is it safe to say that what are they? Era 3?
Era 2.
2? Is that team going all the way?
I don't know. They're very top heavy.
God.
And one thing to also mention before we wrap up with the girls, but you look at these top 5, and again, I mean, Tori is definitely a step below the top 4, but all 5 of these girls, we all agree, are very, very good competitors, and they're all very bad in their own right. So that's one thing to note as well is they can do it all.
What do we think about Laurel?
I mean, Laurel's a beast too. She looked good during All Stars that we just watched. Great. I know. So she still has it. I
think it's crazy when you think about the fact that, like, when you're just looking at season 40 as a whole, like, one of the biggest storylines is Laurel and Cara. Like, they're an all-time, sort of friendship, rivalry, back and forth. And you take them two, who are, like, at the top of our rankings, and then you add in one of the best girls, one of kind of the lost girls of that generation, just because she didn't do as many seasons in Emily, and you put her into the mix. And you're like, all right, she hasn't done a season in 10 years. Let's see how she is. She was one of the best in her days. And then you put all 3 of them on the same team. Like, that's just crazy. The amount of fireworks that I think can come from this top 3 is just insane.
Well, let me go this route with you. Laurel, is she number 1 for people you would not want to see in an elimination? No matter what it is.
I would say yes.
I would say her, Cara, or Emily or Ginny.
See, I think between that, I think Laurel and Cara are better at eliminations, per my opinion.
Probably. If you don't know what it's going to be, probably. Correct. I feel like Ginny is more of just a hall brawl, headbanger type person.
Yeah. So.
Go do one more slide, Trev.
I do want to answer Dabu's question because I did like that. Where would you put Camilla's crazy ass on that top 5? Honestly, I'd probably just replace her with Tori.
Same.
Yeah.
And I like head to head, I would take like Jenny throughout the game. I would take Cara. I would take Emily and take Laurel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can hit one more, Alex?
Yeah, go see the full rankings here.
All right, perfect.
Oh, man.
So you can see them kind of by team here. So you see the era 4,
Jesus,
very back heavy.
This I can't even see the difference between these colors. like tied for fifth. Aviv is different than Jody, right? I
Yeah.
literally, God, you couldn't do like yellow or neon or
Was I
something.
supposed to
God,
do like smiley faces?
God, I'm colorblind. I can't see that shit.
But then you see era 3 and 4 who are just hogging the middle there.
Oh, I
Yes.
know. I love it.
Low ceilings, but high floors. I think, again, even though based on this, it looks like era 2 is top heavy, Kellyanne's not bad. And we already talked about Viva Aviv. She
I
could make a
agree.
run. We don't know.
I agree.
The way I look
And
at it, yeah.
one thing to note as well, if this format is a scenario where, let's say, Viva Aviv could get chopped off, but the rest of the team still stays intact, and then Kellyanne gets chopped off. Like, if we fast forward until like 3/4 into the season, if Era 2 has those 3 as the final 3 girls and their final 3 guys, that's going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, you got to think about what these teams are going to look like once they've trimmed the fat a little bit.
Exactly.
Madness.
Like we're thinking about the final 3 for Era 2 being Laurel, Cara, Emily. Look at the final 3 for Era 3 being Jenny, Casey, Nerys. That's a pretty good final 3. But then you look at Era Light Blue, and it's Tori, Naya, and Amanda. That's not scaring anybody.
So then you're saying 2, 4, 3, 1 in this scenario.
Yes, based on our rankings. Yes.
I don't hate that either. I would agree looking at this. And I'm surprised because I feel like I would have picked 3.
Yeah.
But, okay.
All right. Females.
Well, this was the preview show, right? Like this is part 1. This is like the challenge, part 1, right? So thank you guys for listening.
Part 2.
Just kidding. We would never do that to you guys, even though you guys have stuck around already for how many minutes? Like 72 minutes already. So, male power rankings. Here we go. I'm nervous.
I'm not nervous.
All right, here we go. Number 20. Josh, Smirk City. Oh, Josh. I mean, this is kind of classic.
This is the wrong answer.
What do you mean it's the long answer?
It's the wrong answer. Josh, the goof, he's still young.
What do you
I'm
mean?
shocked that he's number 20.
I mean, he's terrible.
It's terrible.
But he's young. There are other guys who are as terrible, but they're 10 years older than him.
Okay.
I disagree.
I think for me, kind of like the 20 through 16, I think it's very Maso Menos. Like
there's a bottom group here that's pretty bad.
I was struggling with like the Brandons of the world. I was struggling with a couple of the guys. So yeah, like Ryan for me. The reason I had Ryan at 15 was because All Stars. He's like pretty good. He was good. God damn it! I'm sorry. Hand up.
It was All Stars.
He was okay. He wasn't good.
He made it to like the finals.
I think he went home right before, I thought.
Oh, but you do not want to. Yeah, he did. He went home with Avery.
Yeah, and he's going against like Jay from fucking X's 2 or whatever.
God, let me go this route with you. Did Jay become likable?
Well, Trev, you asked at the beginning of the pod if we had any auto skips. I think Ryan is one of them.
Okay, that's fine. Here's our auto skip, our one auto skip. Brandon, you had Brandon last?
13?
Like I said, I got lost in the sauce. I started putting some people in slots.
So did Brandon. Brandon got lost in the sauce.
I was just throwing some people there. Relax, chill.
He said, I might as well drink a beer.
I like Brandon.
That was the best thing Brandon's ever done, is drink a beer and not be able to compete.
Look, here's the thing about Brandon. I think he's seems like a normal guy. He seems like kind of a cool guy, somebody you want to get a beer with. And it's kind of like the one positive thing I can say about Brandon is that like it's refreshing to have someone on the show who isn't, looking to gain it or increase his Instagram following. Aside from all of that, just as a challenger, Brandon to me is just a total zero. He's somebody who like isn't strong, isn't in great shape. He's not like, like Big Easy. He's not obese or anything like that, but like he just doesn't bring anything to the table at all. I had Josh one spot ahead of him. Like Josh can at least like move weight and pick things up, but like I just have zero faith in Brandon to do anything.
Thank you.
God.
I'm shocked that this next guy is 17.
Oh? What do you mean?
Never mind. Let's talk about Mark. The fact my 20th hasn't been revealed yet is bananas.
My 20th hasn't been revealed.
Mark's old as shit. So is Brandon. So is Ryan. That's why I had Josh. Like Josh and Mark is the cutoff because Josh is the goof and Mark is still, in my mind, probably a badass, but he's a 40-year-old badass where it's like, all right, dude, we get it. You're probably taking some roids. Like, relax a little bit. Go just hang out.
Mark is closer to being 60 than he is to being 40.
That's awesome.
He is old as he was 40 plus the last time he did the show on X's One. But he's still doing this.
God, when did he do it? When was it? 1990.
He's what, his first season?
Yeah, when is it? 99?
I think
98?
so. I think the 90s. It's 2024. The season might go till 2025.
I mean, that's awesome. I mean, Mark sucks, man.
Wow.
All right, 16. Derek.
Damn time.
Derek, I'm riding the All-Stars juice, baby.
He was on all. How many of these fucking losers were on All-Stars?
It's like half this old cast. I got the scouting report. Derek was good.
Derek's a little rat. He's a little rat.
Derek is good. Here's the thing. Let's be real. Let's be real, though. There is no way all four of these clowns are going to be the first, 20 through 15. They're not all going to be eliminated like that, Era 1, in 5 episodes. Come on.
You're right, but I don't know.
But that's not the purpose of the power rankings.
I'm saying my power rankings are 1 through 20 in the order they're going to finish this game in. That's how my power rankings have always gone.
I think the correct ranking for Derek is probably right in between you guys, like where I am.
Oh, good.
Derek, so what Derek did show on All-Stars pretty well is that, he has very good endurance.
Yes.
He can run. He is a runner, but that is, just such a niche thing in terms of the way Derek can do it. Like Derek, if he was put on a final team, he gets to skip 20 episodes and he's on the final, great. He can run with whoever his partner is, whatever. The problem is the 16, 17 episodes it's going to take for Derek to get there. At some point, he is going to go into elimination with somebody. Just look at the cast. He's the smallest guy. He's going to go in against somebody who is bigger than him. And he's not going to lose 10 out of 10 times. But
let me ask.
He's going to lose a lot of those times.
Let me go this route with you. Do you think he can kind of skate by, though? Because people are like, oh, he's going to be a layup in the finals.
He's the exact opposite. If he can run for ages, that's not the kind of guy you want to bring to a final. You want to bring a big, fat, Big Easy.
All right.
I think Derek screams going into an elimination episode 1 and not backing it up.
Okay. So looking at the list right now, I still have my 19 and 20 on the board.
Me and Alex had the exact same bottom 5. And you're almost sneaking into top 10.
I am throwing that grenade right in the middle. I'm blowing this power rankings up. So let's see who's 15. Oh, tied for 14. Brad and Paulie. Oh my God, you guys. Paulie sucks. But we'll go Brad first.
We're all pretty close on Brad here.
I think Brad, I mean, first off, kind of like Mark Long, the fact that Brad is still doing this shit is just out of control.
It's
Like,
hilarious.
people forget. What was he was hooking up with Brittany about 10 seasons ago.
That's true.
God.
I think Brittany was like 19.
God. I thought she was younger. Cody Ko-esque.
Brad, watch it. Brad is just a classic example of someone who was good back in the day. He was even good on like that season with Brittany, but now it's just like Father Time is catching up to him. The roids are catching up to him. He looked bad on All Stars. He looked bad as a mercenary last season. Like the only thing I can hope for from Brad is like one moment where he kind of redeems himself. And when we look back at Brad 10 years from now, our most recent memory isn't him just being this old guy who can't move anymore. Like maybe he has one more like good moment in him, elimination win, something like that. Like I don't think he can win it all. I don't think he can make a final, but like I'm just hoping from a Brad perspective, he can give us one more thing like that.
He can. He's still a headbanger. If Brad goes into an elimination early, I think he's winning. Against some of the trash that was below.
Yeah.
Did you see his homecoming? No, but in all seriousness, him and All Stars, he was bad in that.
Who gives a fuck?
My scouting report, it's very like, what was the show? Are You the One? Second Chances? You know, me and Adam Mito seeing the scouting report on Tori. Like, this is the vibes I get. Me and Alex did the scouting report on All Stars. We'll see if it worked or not.
How do you have Paulie at 19? Your 20th hasn't even been revealed.
Paulie sucks.
But here's the thing, Trev. You talk about how like you have Paulie low because he sucks. Who did you have for the girls low because you hate them? And you had Avery high, and then you had 3 girls from the same team all in 1, 2, and 3, and then you say, I think this is how they're going to finish. But you have Paulie at 19.
Yeah, he sucks. He's going to finish last, 19th.
Not last.
19th.
But your logic is just all over the place.
Relax. This is my power rankings. It's not yours. There's a reason there's a middle ground for all of us, and I have him 19. That's fine.
I'm even more excited to see who you have 20.
Paulie,
well, the fact that you guys don't have somebody at 20 is the biggest disrespect to this podcast in history, and I'm pissed off a little bit, and I'm going to go off here in a little bit. But Paulie 19, his head is so far up Kara's ass, and he's a weasel. He's a weasel. He is a J. He's literally J.
Paulie's kind of good.
Oh my God.
I think he's one of those guys that the last time we saw him, we all hated him, and like for good reason. But I think at the time it was all kind of like a smirk hate. And now that he's been gone for so long, I'm kind of like, oh, let's bring Paulie back so I can get mad at him a few more times. While also like he could win like some like scrappy endurance type elimination.
Okay. Anything else on Paulie? Andy? Nothing?
He is a little bitch. He's a huge little bitch.
Here's the issue that I have with Paulie for you, Andy. You have him 13. Episode 1, I can already see it now. We are live. Come here, episode 1, blah, 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 of the era. Andy is going to be like, oh, Paulie, he fucking sucks. He's the worst. I can't wait for him to go home. Yeah. No, he's Jay, blah, blah, blah. Put him in 19 then.
Why?
He sucks.
Just because I hate him and I think he's a bitch doesn't mean that I think he's going to go home right away.
Okay, so let me go this route with you. Why'd you put Fezzi at 20 last year or 19 or whatever last was?
Because
Same
he's
argument.
Genuinely bad. He gets kicked off. He quits. He does dumb shit because he's a dumb bitch.
Get out of here. I'm done. All right, tied for 12th. Here we go. Niedermeyer and this little bitch Derek going tied for 12th. All right, we'll go Niedermeyer at 12.
Trev, I was giving you flack for Paulie. I will give you no flack for Derek.
All right, we got to go first. Nehemiah, tied for 12.
So Nehemiah is just a weird person here because I think he he looks like he's still in good shape, although he kind of seems like Jonah Hill weight fluctuating. He looks like the cast preview. He looks like he's skin and bones, and he used to be like a little stronger than that. But Nehemiah, I think I'm not sure where you had the rest of those. I guess you had Derek maybe a little higher, but like I think Nehemiah is going to be the number 2 guy on Era 2 behind Bananas. So like he is the second best guy, and we had him middle of the pack here, but like Nehemiah is athletic. He can move around. He could beat somebody in an elimination, but like he's just going to have to carry a lot of the weight to make up for the slack of the Ryans, Brandons of the world. And like, I just don't know if he can do that. He is a challenge champ. People forget that. But I just think this is just and he's done like he's been obsessed with all the all-stars, getting all those paychecks. So I just don't know if he's ready to be the number 2 guy just yet.
Okay. Andy, anything on him?
It's a good point you bring up, but it kind of makes me want to put Nehemiah higher.
Ooh, interessante.
Because I think he has to be in that Pippen role. And he realizes it's not going to be Brandon, Ryan, or Derek. So he knows it's going to have to be him and Bananas, and I think it could pump him up a little bit. I still like this ranking. I think it's accurate, but I do think because of that, I want to be surprised if Nehemiah puts on a pretty good showing this season.
When was the last season he was on?
I think Rivals.
So it's been that long. Dang.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, Derek, 9, 20, 12. I'll let you boys take the floor first. I mean, Alex had him in his top 10.
True.
Well, look, are we gonna do the podcast rival stuff now, or
no? You put him in the top 10.
Well, you had him last.
Here's how I look at it. The fact that you guys didn't put a challenge maniac at 20, the fact that this dude is gonna just get free content and charge people $500 an episode to listen to his podcast. Why would you want him to be on more than one episode? I want him to suffer and go home episode 1 so he has zero content. Oh, this is what Bananas was saying in the house, blah, 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 and all this stuff. Ship his ass home episode 1. Get him out of here.
It's a difference between, I think, how we create our power rankings. I'm not saying I want Derek to be the 9th place finisher for the guys. I would love if Derek went home episode 1 and Sean Yeager and them have to scream about and do the air horn, bah, 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 and they have to do that about like all the other guys on the season. I would love that. I just think Derek, compared to somebody like Nehemiah, Brad, like he's better than those guys.
Well, and that's where not only is there differing thoughts on how we do our own power rankings, Trev has differing thoughts on how he did his power rankings, because he was saying, I think that's going to finish 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down 20. But now he's saying, I want Derek out right away. I want Paulie out right away. I don't want those little bitches on my screen. So he's contradicting himself through all of this.
Whoa. What do you mean by that?
How could I make it any clearer?
I just said I want Derek gone, episode 1. That's why
exactly. But on the last set of 5, you said, I think it's going to, my power rankings was who I think is going to finish in this to this. So it went from I think versus I want, almost in the same sentence.
I think my 20th, 19th, and so on is more solidified than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's more of a toss-up. At the end of the day, I want Emily to finish number 1. That is absolutely what I want.
But in our bottom 5, you said your power rankings are based on how you think, and now when we get up here, they turned into how you want. So which one is it?
Okay, I think Derek is going to finish 20th. Is that better for you? I think Derek will finish 20th.
You think Derek's out episode 1?
GG's. See ya.
Okay.
Hope see you never.
And then Paulie's behind him.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Derek will be gone episode 1, 20th place. They'll all collude together and be like, we don't want to, you better give us some money. You guys are charging $750 for a podcast. You can at least give me some free content. Blah, 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 blah. I think Derek will be gone episode 1, finishing 20th. He'll have no content. Hell, Challenge Mania might run out of money and they might be screwed.
I gurp at your logic and flip-flopping and back and forth on your power rankings, but I bulge at this pick.
I don't know what I think and I want is that's what I
not the same
want.
thing.
What do you mean?
For your bottom 5, you were saying this is how I think people are going to finish, and now we get to this 5, and you say, well, this is what I want to happen.
Yeah, and I do because that's what I think.
What?
I think Derek is going to finish last.
Okay.
Okay, great.
And I want that to happen. They could both do the same thing. I mean, come on. Why is that so hard?
All right. Who we got next?
I mean, the fact that you guys are giving credit to that little loser, it's sickening to me.
He's a good competitor.
I don't care. He hosts another rival podcast and charges poor innocent people $750 to listen to that shit. I mean, you guys would probably put Scott Yeager in the top 10.
Watch it.
All right, moving on. Horacio. So I think Horacio's going to finish ninth. And I want him to finish ninth. All right, Alex. I mean, we're all pretty close here. 10-9-9.
I feel like this is the right spot for him. I think this is a big. This
Is
is
that
a
for
big,
what you want or where you think he's going to finish?
This is a big prove it year for Horacio. He had the really awesome, record-setting rookie year. He makes the final, and then I think last season we were all just like underimpressed with him. We kind of felt like there was more he could have done. And he made it far. I think he was maybe the second to last elimination before the final. But it's just he's in good shape. He's athletic. He's strong. But it's just this crazy aversion that he has to actually playing the game that there's a good chance if he acts like that again, he might not get a call back. That's how the challenge is. You have to do something. You have to make a splash in some way. I know he's hooking up with Nerys, but that'll only take you so far. Horacio, and this is a good opportunity for him because they're on teams. So he could kind of be the leader of his team. I could see somebody like Theo, who hasn't done a lot of seasons, somebody like Josh, who can, will take orders from anybody. Horacio should step up into this leadership position. I don't know if he will, but I think this is a very interesting spot here for Horacio because I could see him making the final on his team, being one of the 2 guys on his team that makes the final or something. I could also see him getting targeted because he doesn't talk a lot and going home early. So I don't know. I think he's all over the place.
This is a make or break season, like you said. I think last season for him was a layup in the fact that he didn't even make the finals. I mean, that's a tough look. He needs a big rebound. This is a perfect opportunity. I don't know, man. This is big. This is a big season for him.
Horacio, I think last season was our consensus 1-1 guy.
Yeah, no, he was.
Obviously, this season's cast is a lot stronger, but we all kind of are rightfully kind of pulling Horacio back in the power rankings a little bit because of what we saw from him last year.
Let me go this route with you. Does Horacio have the biggest chip on his shoulder out of any contestant this season?
I don't think so.
So then who would?
Maybe somebody I feel honestly all of those top 3 girls on the Era 2 team.
So for them, it's basically
the reason why I say no, I guess, is because I don't think Horacio is the type of guy that thinks I have a chip on my shoulder.
okay.
I just think he's kind of there, and I would love for him to prove me wrong because he's a pretty likable guy, but I don't think he's I don't think he's coming on to season 40 being I didn't do great on season 39. I need to show everybody what I'm capable of. I just think he's kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go this route with you on the H-Man. I think he's the furthest thing from a chip on his shoulder because, like you were just saying, we had him 1-1. He didn't do that great. Now we have him bordering the top 10. So inherently, that means that he doesn't really have a chip on his shoulder. So he's trending in the wrong direction. Now he's also going against a bunch of seasoned vets, and the expectations are lower as a result. Because part of the reason we had him 1-1 was because the cast was weak last year. So we're kind of expecting him to cool off a little bit here. I actually think it's the best environment for him to do really well, because I think where he was set up to fail last year was the fact that it was him against the world. Now, granted, he kind of did that to himself, and he certainly didn't try to avoid any of that. But I think he's set up in a potentially good spot to be Horacio against the world, which I think is the best version of Horacio.
I agree with both of what you said. Like, I understand, like, him flying very early radar watch Horacio. Like, I get that. I worry what Alex first said when he started was like, if he does poorly again, this could be the end.
I agree.
Like, you have to make an impression one way or another. And he kind of did his first season by just being a good challenger, but like, you got to do something else. Like you can make it far doing that, but like you have to make like kind of like the Casey route where like she was making the final every single season. You keep doing that, you're going to get a call back. But like, if you're not and you're still pretty good at the challenge, like you still got to do something else.
Well,
and
that's
it's
what
one
I'm saying.
thing.
If he doesn't make it and gets eliminated, I mean, let's be real. I think we all agree. Last season was a layup for him. The fact that he didn't make a final is a joke. This season, even if he makes it in the top, let's say like 8 guys, it's still a good season with this cast. I'm not saying that. If he falls below that 11 line, it becomes very sketchy.
Yeah,
I don't disagree. And it's one thing where if you're not doing much as in your rookie year, you're not, showing off that much of a personality. It's your rookie year, and people are like, all right, that's fine. They're kind of just like trying to ease into the show. But when it happens back-to-back years after you had the rookie year that you had, then it becomes a red flag. And it not a red flag, maybe a yellow flag. Trev, 2 different colors. But we'll see. I don't think it's chip on her shoulder. I also think Horacio, this could be his last one just on his own accord. Just based on how his engagement is in the seasons. But it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch from a not just entertainment perspective, but let's see what happens with Horacio, if that makes sense.
Yeah, moving on.
Top 10.
Top 10.
Corey. Alex had him 6. Me 10, Andy 11, pretty close. Alex, I'll give you the floor first. Corey 6.
Yeah, Corey was another one where I finished the power rankings and I was kind of a bit surprised I had him so high. But I do think for me, there's a clear top 4, and then there's a drop off where you could really rank the next 8 guys in any order. And I don't know, I just kind of like Corey. I think he's athletic. I think maybe I probably ranked him a bit higher just because of like the name recognition, being a TV character. He's always interacting with people. He's hooking up with people. I don't know if you know this, but he does have kids. So he's playing for them. But I don't know. I like Corey. I'm glad to have him back. And like, there's a few guys that we'll get to that like maybe on paper, they look like they're a bit better than Corey, but I don't think Corey has officially crossed into the zone of like, he's never going to win. Cause I think he's done like 8-9 seasons, I would have to get. So like, it wouldn't shock me if Corey's able to do something, but it also wouldn't shock me if Corey finishes, 14th overall or something.
Yeah, Corey's kind of like somebody who could sneak under the radar and even finish in like, I think there is a gap where he's like you said, like top 4, but like that 5, 6, 7 range, like could definitely see that. But like at the same time, like the people we're about to list off, like you do not want to go home now. Like it is tight. It is tight. But Popcorn Muscles, I still worry about him in a final. That's the one thing.
And
3.
more importantly, even
That-
like third grade math.
yeah, I said 9 times 3.
Like that's what's going to screw Corey up. I think the amount of puzzles that we've seen recently, he's going to get bit. Like he could go into elimination early and lose and be out like 17-16 because of a puzzle.
Yeah. I really like Corey as a person though. I think he's great for the show. I don't know if
Me
you guys just saw what he posted. He threw out the first pitch at the Angels game. Him and Nelly T there. Pretty cool thing. Definitely should check that out. Anything else on Corey?
He's one of those guys that I'm glad is on this season. Regardless of where he finishes, I'm just glad to have a familiar face back.
Let me go this route with you on Corey. This would have been how long ago? Rivals 3 was his first season, right? With
Bloodlines.
wasn't he okay? And with Mitch, that was his first season.
Yeah, his cousin Mitch.
He was a dweeb.
Was he not? Wait. Was he not on Rivals 3?
He was.
Bloodlines happened before?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. God, I always flip-flop those seasons for whatever reason.
All right, where are you going? Where are you going with this, Trev?
Well, I was just going to say, like, do you think, and this, I don't want to get kind of into, like, challenge career recap. Can we all agree Corey was supposed to be the poster boy of the challenge?
Yes. There was a 2-3 season span where they were trying to make him the guy.
How do you think that's turned out? Where would you kind of rank him? Like, in this new era of the challenge, I guess he's in decade 3 or whatever, team 3. But do you think it's panned out well or no?
Not at all.
No, but I think they've tried to make a few different guys the guy, and I don't think any of them have really hit.
Well, and this can be something, what I'm trying to get at is this is going to be the end of era 1 and 2, and we talk about fresh meat all the time. Who is the guy of the show now? And who's the female of the show?
We cannot get into
man.
What do you mean? I'm just saying, Corey had it on a silver platter. Fezzi had it on a silver platter. Theo got hurt. Like, there's a lot of guys that just in Horacio recently. Devin. I mean, Devin, defending champ. People forget that. There are people who's reached for it, but has anybody actually captured it?
No, I'm saying Devin.
Maybe you think Devin is the poster boy of this new era of the challenge.
Why not? He's on it regularly. He does well. He's entertaining.
God, I just think his Achilles heel in the circle, that was good, Mike.
Yeah.
I just think his Achilles heel is he has so many enemies. And I think his strongest allies are his Devin in this game. And is he 9? I'm hoping he's 9. I'm going to hit 9 right now. It's not. But I just think he just has too many enemies across the board.
All right.
I low-key forget where I placed them too. So
Tony,
I think
the guy that I've always said we need back on the show. We finally got him. He's back.
Yeah. I hate that I have him 8. I wish I could get him higher. But I just
do you think he's going to finish 8 or do you want him to finish 8?
Enough.
I think he's going to finish 8th because I think 7 through 1 will finish in that order. And I also want him. Actually, no, I'm not even getting into that. I want him to win this whole goddamn thing, but I think he's going to finish 9th or 8th. Excuse me.
It's going to be fun watching Tony get back on the show. It's going to be fun seeing him and Corey on the same team. I think Tony has, strictly from a competitor perspective, always been slept on. And I'm excited to see what he can do after we haven't seen him in a few years. He, much like Corey, has kids. Especially every time I hear Tony's name, it just really makes me hope and wish that we get a Burger King sponsorship for this season, because seeing Tony in the crown is just like how I view Tony, and blacked out, cross-eyed, trying to hook up with some random chick. That's Tony to me.
Yeah, Tony's awesome. He's the fucking man. Alex, anything on Tony?
He's awesome, and like this season is just like the cast is so big, and there's so many people coming back that like we almost like I almost forget that Tony is coming back, and that feels like it's like the 10th biggest storyline of the season, but like we all love Tony, and so like we're gonna get him on episode 1 and see him coming back, but like there's just so many other things surrounding it. But I feel like this is a good spot for him because he like weirdly looks like he's in better shape than his early seasons, but he also hasn't done a season in like 5-6 years. So it's kind of this like weird mixture of like not knowing exactly where he's at, but still having some faith in him. But I mean, at the end of the day, we get Tony back, and that's what we've been asking for years on this podcast.
Yeah, we didn't see that much of him in All Stars. That story of why he went home is kind of sketch. But
we'll get
I'm pumped. I'm so pumped to see him back.
We might have to create some sort of segment that just centers around Tony entirely.
Are we worried that we might not get that much? I mean, like you kind of talked about it. There's so many characters on the season. Are we worried they might just kind of overshadow Tony?
Maybe. That's why we got to make a segment for him, I think.
30-second time with Tony Reigns.
Tony time.
Tony time.
All right, number 8.
Ooh, 12 for Alex for Leroy. 6 for me, 7 for Andy. Alex, I'll give you the floor first. 12. Leroy's washed.
I'm just not convinced Leroy's ever gonna cut it. And he
what did you say?
He's not gonna cut it, I said.
Oh, okay.
I think you said he's not gonna gut it.
No, he's not gonna cut it. He
cut it out.
He recently retired about 3 seasons ago. He's already back. And I just have him 12th because, like, on paper, he looks like a guy who should be 4th, 5th overall. But he's done, 13, 14 seasons and hasn't won. How many times are we going to have him on this show? I love Leroy. I'm glad we have him back. He's a great character. But I'm not super high on his chances overall in this season.
I will say I screwed up. I should have ranked Tony higher than I should have went Tony higher than Leroy, and I should have went Tony higher. There's a few other people I see, and I'm upset. And God. So, all right, we'll just leave it at that. Andy, 7.
Leroy's the man. I still think he's good, and I think he's got a ton of alliances. I mean, Leroy is just like the most likable guy, arguably of all time on the show. And I think that means that he's going to go far in a lot of seasons. And I think this one includes that.
All right. 7th overall. Who we got? ...
It is Devin.
Jeez. 14th overall for Devin?
I think Devin's going to be called off by all the bullshit, and I think someone's going to catch him, and he's going to be thrown in pretty early this game. I think Devin's a good competitor. I think he's going home early.
So now we've also
no.
we filtered into what we forgot, like Trev said with Nerys. We've got 3 different levels. It's almost like Inception. There's what you think, then what you want, and then what your gut feeling is. So
yeah, my gut feeling is what I think. That's the same thing. How is that any different? I think Devin will go home episode 6. He's 14. I'm saying that right there.
Okay. And you think that based on
his
just a gut feeling?
Yes. And I want that to happen. The triangle. I think he's going to get called off by the bullshit. I think someone's going to catch him and just like, I don't know.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Catch him?
Like he lies. All Devin does is lie and play this manipulative game. Like
How?
What do you mean? He makes these alliances and just promises people everything, and then he buries them very bananas-esque.
Well,
When?
he won his last season.
Yeah, he skated by.
14's crazy.
I think he's going home early.
The way I see Devin
I just have a
is
gut feeling, and I want it to happen.
the way I personally see Devin is I feel like the past few seasons we've had this middle of the pack that we always talk about. It's like the Coreys, Nelsons, Kyles, Devins, Tonys, Hunters of the world. And like Devin, I feel like has now graduated from that group. Maybe you want to say he's still in that group. He's at the very top, whatever it is. But like he is now graduated from that group. He is a challenge champion. He's not, on the bananas Jordan level, but like he is kind of between those two tiers. So like for me, I got to kind of fifth in my power rankings, and I was just in this long middle pack here, and I was like, Devin's just better than them. Like he is good at puzzles. He's good at the political game. He's gotten in better shape. He's still not like the super most athletic guy, but like he's gotten in better shape. He knows how to play the game. And I think he just, as much as I don't like Devin, like I think he deserves to be ranked higher than a lot of these guys.
Everything you just said could not have been more accurate about where Devin's at in his challenge career right now, especially relative to the rest of these other clowns. I think you hit the nail on the head. He's elevated beyond the middle of the pack group where these clowns live, which is fine. Like these guys have all been doing the challenge long enough to know where they're going to fit. And we now know where Devin fits, and it's above these guys. He's got a ring. He's done it. He's gotten better. And he talked about that on home turf. And he's been ready to
Where
take
is
his
this home
game.
turf on? Is it on YouTube?
YouTube.
Should I throw one on right now?
Please.
No, because then you'll take us that route.
Who should I throw on, Andy?
Devin.
Oh, come! I'm not watching Devin.
Amanda.
Oh, come on, prison guard.
OCT, actually, in all seriousness. Devin's as much as you can be in between a very good and a great competitor as there is, in my mind. I don't quite think he's great, but he is above very good.
Okay.
I agree.
Cool. All right, moving on. 6. Darrell. 11-7-4. Well, I'll let you guys have the floor first because I split you guys. So it seems like I might be right. So I'll give it to Alex first.
I want Darrell to prove me wrong so badly, but I feel like ever since Darrell, he did his first 4 seasons, won them all, took a big break. Or I guess he got punched Brad and then lost in freshman meet too, and then took a big break. And I feel like every time he comes back, he gets like just a little worse and worse. And like he's not terrible. Like I don't have him 20th, but he comes on Invasion. He does beat Bananas. Like he's still in good shape, but he doesn't make the final. I think Dirty 30, he got purged right away. Like he just has had a few very unimpressive results. And at some point, like, I don't really care what those 4 rings did for you in terms of the power rankings. If we're talking about legacy rankings, that's a different thing. But like, I would love for Darrell to just do something that, like, when we think back to Darrell, it's not like, oh, he won his first 4 seasons, came back in a different era of the challenge and was terrible. Like, I want him to show, like, if he makes the final, that would be great. But I just feel like I've given Darrell the benefit of the doubt too many times that, like, now I just want him to prove me wrong.
I see where you're coming from. Very sound logic. But at the end of the day, Darrell's like an Apple stock. I trust it. I'd be willing to bet on it. I'd be willing to invest in it. I'm very happy investing in Darrell stock right now. If it was back in the day and it's booming, sure. But right now it's still like Darrell, number 4 for me. Sure. I love it. I would much rather say Darrell's going to finish that high than say that, I mean, like in your instance, that Tony's going to finish higher than Darrell. If I take Tony ahead of Darrell and Darrell finishes higher than him, I'm kicking myself thinking, why the hell did I do that?
Well, Tony beat Darrell.
Didn't Ammo beat Tony?
Is Ammo on the season? Is he in our top 5?
Well, how would that factor in? Because we did male and female.
All right. What's our top 5 look like, Trev?
All right, top 5. Number 5. Kylan, my man. How's that Jetta doing?
I'm shocked you didn't put him at 1.
Oh, come on. Kylan 5. Call me Panic at the Disco. I have high hopes for Kylan. He's good. He's good.
He is good. I think we all are in agreement there. I love Kylan. Last season gained a shit ton for me. Not just as a guy that I like, but proving himself as a competitor in the game.
Sorry, I'm watching Home Turf. This is on my screen.
Kylan.
CT's going to the harbor.
Kylan is a very interesting person here because we obviously all think pretty highly of him, but he is still kind of in this lower or upper middle pack. And he has only done 1 season. Like his sample size is just so small to be ranked this high. So like I could see him being kind of the leader of this team, of this era. He kind of, even though he wasn't like the best guy last season, he always kind of had that sort of, I want people to listen to me. I want to, delegate different things. So like it'll be interesting to see how he kind of plays like in a team dynamic. But I just was kind of surprised that he ended up this high.
Okay. Number 4. Ooh. Interessante.
So, can I ask a question about Theo
Hernandez? Yes.
Does he have 1 eye?
He's back. He's got dose.
He's got
2 real eyes.
Yes.
All right.
I think his eye works kind of like Jordan's hand.
We'll see. Again, Theo. We're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna have to look into it. We're gonna have to watch how he is on the screen. Theo could win it all. He could.
I see a future of him making the top 3.
I can visualize it now. Theo's a very, very good competitor. I've always wanted to see more of Theo. I've always thought he had the good looks of a challenge face potentially. And now he's got the chance to do it. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I think he's going to be very, very competitive, but I also thought he had 1 eye legitimately. And I had him 6 with 1 eye.
So Theo for me, Adam was so high on him a few years ago. And I hopped on the train with Adam a few seasons ago. I know Alex hated him a few seasons ago. But me and Adam.
Just not true.
We rode on that Theo train. And I'm all in on Theo. I think he's a badass. He's good. I do not want to see him in an elimination. Alex?
I believe you can go back to our War of the Worlds season recap where I gave Theo my season MVP. I fucking bulge at Theo. I have bulged at him for years. He's awesome. He's just so good. He's so good at everything. He has 2 seasons under his belt where he finished second to Turbo as a rookie, solo season. And then on his second season, he made it a little over halfway, I feel like, but he also won 3 eliminations in the process. And that was when like Team UK was just being a bunch of bitches and voting him in every single time, even though he was the best guy on their team. And so he showed that he can do the endurance, he can play the long game, but he can also go one-on-one and beat your ass. And I just want all of that. I want all of that for Theo this season. I feel like it's going to be a type of thing. I know we all had him high here, but I feel like the general fan base maybe has forgotten about Theo a little bit. And so I feel like it's going to be a thing where Theo is on, we're here episode 5 recap, and he's maybe won a couple eliminations, killed it in the dailies, and we're all like, holy shit, we forgot how good Theo is. Like, he is just fucking awesome. All the names above this we see all the time. Theo we don't see all the time. He's just so fucking good at the challenge.
Perfect. Moving on.
Wait, are there talks are Theo and Olivia a thing?
Yes.
Explain.
They are a full-fledged ting.
Explain stat.
That's all I got. We'll see season 1 or episode 1.
Now that's a couple that I'm going to be interested in seeing.
God. That might be the most good-looking couple on the challenge in a long time.
And don't forget, wasn't Theo kind of fooling?
Who?
What?
I said who?
Zach and Jenna.
Yeah, I'm just saying Theo and Olivia are a bad couple.
They are. I'm saying since Zach and Jenna.
Oh, I would agree.
Nice.
All right, top 3.
Top 3. I mean, this person has to be CT. 243 for us. Alex having him 2. Me 4, Andy 3. Alex, floor is yours for 2. And he's gone.
I'll take it away, Trev. I mean, CT is CT. He's a top 3 guy. He's proven that even at an old age, he can still bang around with the best of them. He's made significant improvements over his seasons as an older competitor. And I think he's not only deserving of a top 3 finish for us in terms of power rankings, I thoroughly expect him to finish top 3.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think Theo's going to beat him this season.
Ooh.
I think this season could be a changing of the guards.
Ooh.
So we'll get into 1 and 2 here shortly. But is this CT's last season?
The thing is, with people like CT and Bananas and even Anissa, you really can't even judge that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
because you could tell me this is CT's last season and he goes out in season 40 and that's it, and sunshine and rainbows. You could also tell me he does another 4 seasons, and I would believe you, because much like Anissa, CT doesn't have anything else going on.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold on CT. And I've always been that anti-CT. I get it. I still think he's a beast. I still think he's going to be a top 5 finisher. I think he's going to finish 4th this season. I don't think he's going to win, but he's a force to be reckoned with. I just don't know how much is left in the tank. That's all I'm saying. Like, I could see him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you saw his homecoming. Did it look like he was trying to go back home for retirement?
No, it looks like he grew up in a shithole.
Jesus. Where's he live now?
I don't know. Some suburb of Boston, I think.
God. Didn't he have a wedding? Didn't we do a podcast on that?
God, didn't they already get divorced?
Did they? God. I love how it's just me and you now, and this is like the traditional like us.
It's how it always is.
Yeah, it is. It's us carrying it to the finish line, and you do not want to go home now. And Alex just poof disappears.
It's the new era of Stir the Pod.
It is. The alliance is super hot. It's very this right here. But yeah, we have CT at 3. And I think we got to do 1 and 2 now. Keep this train going.
Yep. 1 and 2 for the STP 1 and 2.
God. Alex is typing to me. Do you see me in the stream? No, we don't. 1 and 2. What is your guess? We both know the 2 people.
So my list, and I'll just give a spoiler.
Okay.
I can't not have Johnny Bananas as my number 1 guy in a season that he's on. Okay. Don't care about the format. Don't care who else is there. If I've got the ability to put Bananas as number 1 in a power ranking, I'm putting Bananas as number 1 in a power ranking.
Okay. Like I said, I think it is a changing of the guards for the greatest challenger of all time.
Wow.
I think Jordan is going to win this season, and we will say, not Bananas, not CT. I think Jordan is the greatest of all time.
If he wins this season?
With Bananas, with this cast, yeah.
No, back up, Trev. I have no issues with you putting Jordan over Bananas in this season. I have no issues with that. But you cannot tell me that if Jordan wins this season, he takes the challenge GOAT status from Bananas.
I think he takes it from CT more than Bananas.
Bananas is on another level of CT.
Even most people would argue that, though, and I don't even think that's close. I'm on you. I think Bananas is clearly, with the take the money in the run and how many seasons he's been on, everything. Bananas number 1.
Well, and doesn't he have 8 fucking rings?
I get that.
8? 8? How many does Jordan have?
Was he at 4, 5?
I was gonna say 3 or 4.
God, they all blend together.
But even then, if he's at 4, he has to double that to get to Bananas. Double it.
I get that. I'm just saying, like, so would you say, like, let me go this route with you. I don't even want to say Banana CT are like LeBron and Jordan, and like Jordan is more of like a Steph Curry. Because like I feel like Steph Curry doesn't get he has like, how many rings does Curry have? 4, 3? He gets like no like greatest of all time, and he's changed the game quite a bit. I think Jordan, pound for pound, season by season, if he had, let me go this route with you. If Jordan had, let's say, 5 rings.
Are you talking about Jordan Wisely or Michael Jordan?
Wisely. Oh shit. Now I'm trying to get Alex back in. All right, welcome back, Alex. Thanks for joining us.
I'm back from the redemption house.
So where we're at right now, you missed CT going 3, Bananas 2, and Jordan being 1. I said this is where we left it. I talked about changing of the guards, kind of this new era. Is there any GOAT discussion if Jordan wins this season about being the greatest challenge competitor of all time?
I think it's a great question, and I think the answer is yes. I think where we're at right now is Bananas and CT are tied at the top of the mountain. If you want to make a case for either one of them, go for it. I would make the case for Bananas over CT, but I think especially with CT winning the past 2 that he did, I think they're both tied at the top of the mountain. Jordan is right below them, and if Jordan is able to come on this season and get his 4th ring compared to Bananas 7, CT's 5, but in a much smaller sample size,
and in a much, I would argue, harder time to win seasons. If Jordan's able to do that, I think they are all three kind of at the top of the mountain together. And you can make a case for any of those three.
So time out. You think Jordan's rings were in a harder time than Bananas?
Some of them. I think Jordan's resume is incredibly impressive.
Don't disagree.
I think Jordan's best accolade is not even him winning the final. I think it's bringing Anissa to a final.
Yeah.
Is arguably not even a ring. That's like 3 rings. Like that is that is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think, Trev, I don't think it's a MJ LeBron discussion. I think it's a Brady and Mahomes discussion.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Is Brady the GOAT? Yes. Is Mahomes creeping up on him and looking like he could surpass him if he stays on the same trajectory? Yes. But he's halfway to him. The same goes for Mahomes. The same goes for Jordan. So to immediately say if Jordan gets another or if Mahomes gets another to say he's the best to ever do it, that's putting the cart in front of the horse in my mind.
I like that comparison, Andy. That's actually a really good comparison. I don't know, man. Pound for pound, hand by hand, like Jordan is just another animal.
I love Jordan, but I think if he wins this, to say that he is the GOAT over Bananas is disrespectful.
I don't think I would say Jordan is the GOAT over Bananas. I think you could make the case, and I think the reason why is because Jordan would be at 4 rings compared to Bananas 7, so he's a little over halfway there. But I think if you're comparing everything, like Bananas has 22 seasons under his belt, and Jordan has I don't know, 7 or 8. Like, I just think the reason why I put Jordan above Bananas in the power rankings is because, and I've said this on the pod before, I feel like 2013 to 2016 Bananas was like Alabama football, where you just put him at the top of the rankings. If he wins, great. If he doesn't, like, it's almost a disappointment, even though like nobody else is held to the same standard. And I feel like Jordan has kind of taken that from him, because I feel like Jordan is closer to the peak of his powers than Bananas is at this point.
But what I think often gets overlooked in that discussion, and the same, again, can go for a Brady. Brady won a Super Bowl in his 40s. So are you going to knock him that he played for 20 years and had 7 rings? You can't knock him for having the longevity, especially when you win even on the back half of your career, because that right there is something that Jordan is either going to have and he will surpass Bananas, or he's not going to have. If Jordan can't do this for as long as Bananas, he's not going to be able to be the GOAT. That's part of what makes Bananas the GOAT, is that he's been doing this for so damn long. And when he's done it, he's been good.
I'm not going to lie. When this conversation is happening right now, I wonder if I can get some audio.
Obnoxious, egotistical son of a bitch that ever been on the show. Come hell or high water, I'm going to teach this guy a lesson, and I'm going to check this guy's ego.
Jordan versus Bananas, elimination. I'm watching the homecoming. Literally happening right now. Perfect timing.
Wait, whose homecoming is it?
Bananas.
God.
Thanks, Alex, for talking to me about doing a homecoming. So, I don't know, man. I think Jordan's going to win this season. I think he is just so damn good.
Jordan's awesome.
He's great. I love Jordan. But I do think to say that if he wins, he becomes the GOAT is disrespectful.
Let me go this route with you, Andy. And I know this is like so hard, and like if there was a moment where Jordan, let's say Jordan and I don't know, give me a girl from this season, Laurel are the final 2, right? And Jordan wins, and they you can either split the money or take it all for yourself. Does he get any better GOAT status than that if he were to take it all. It's like he doesn't have like that viral moment or like that. I mean, the one shining moment for Jordan, I feel like that everybody talks about is him actually losing, is him flipping all over the cards or him
Yeah.
crashing during, winning a challenge on a broken leg. Like he needs like that to be like, to your point. And I know I'm kind of going back on Team Bananas, which I am still Team Bananas. I'm just saying he doesn't have that take the money and run moment, like that huge game changing, most talked about moment of all time.
So to answer your question, I don't think so. Because when I think of Bananas, like, yeah, take the money and run's an incredible moment. But when I think of Bananas and I think about him being the GOAT, it's the fact that he has 7 fucking rings. And if Jordan has another one, regardless of how much prize money he's getting with it or not, that's what is impressive to me. And that's what, like, looking back on it is what I'm going to think about. Now, granted, Jordan did kind of have a big swinging dick moment aside from the flipping the cards, which was X's 2.
Yeah.
And was that
Second season?
his first ring?
Yeah. No, X is 2. Yeah, it was his.
First ring, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that was him throwing in Bananas. Well, actually, no, because
Sarah.
Sarah threw in Bananas. So,
Well, let's be real. That move, I don't care how you see it. Jordan was watching that moment and was just very like, "Oh, Sarah, don't do it." Oh, even though he knew that
he was
was
thinking,
the play.
please do it. Please do it.
He got his hands so cleaned. Oh.
Well, yeah, but him and Bananas had a beef for like years after that.
Oh, come on. Smirk.
Either way, I think the good thing about these power rankings, about these seasons is, like, I'm looking at our list right now and I see 3 guys who in my mind are 3 of the best to ever do this show that are all going to be competitive. They're all going to be entertaining. I'm excited.
Yeah, and now that we're looking at our full power rankings here, just going off of that, one of the things that I kind of like the most is that you look at the top 4 here, Jordan, Bananas, CT, Theo. I kind of like that it's one person per team. Like they're kind of the best guy on each of those 4 teams. And then, looking at the distribution here, they're kind of spread out, right? Like obviously we see kind of this army of like middle of the pack guys for era 3. We see era 2 is kind of, has some people in the bottom, but obviously we know that we had the top 3 girls all on that team. But I just like that, like, you have 4 like awesome guys. Like any of those 4 guys could have been like number 1 in the power rankings, and they're all kind of like representing each of the 4 teams. I think is really cool.
Yeah. So do we think era 3 is the best overall era for males?
I would say absolutely.
I think so.
Okay.
Which I think, looking at that team, it's very interesting because like you have Jordan, who's like clearly the best guy on that team, and then like we made the case for Devin, but like you have Leroy, Tony, Corey, like they're all good challengers. Like their worst guy, whoever you want to say it is like much better than the worst guy on any of the other teams.
By a lot. By a lot.
They're a fun team. I love Era 3.
I do too.
I'm excited for the season. God, I've got the itch.
And I also think here's another thing when looking at Era 3. I think the vibes are going to be high in that locker room.
Oh, come on. It's just a fun team.
It's a fun team.
Should we go through all the teams now? Go to the next. Yeah, there we go.
All right. So era 1, I think I'm looking at this team. God, era 1's girls are pretty bad, and not bad in a good way.
Yeah, they're bad and they're bad.
Looking at the guys, should we be worried? I mean, I don't know.
They're old as fuck.
God. Damn.
So they have to be like,
God, era 1, we literally did 17, 18, 19, 20.
They have to be last.
Yeah, for sure. Their females are last. Males, with Derek going home EP1, Era 1 has got a hard. I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
I feel like when you look at this team, if you remove Anissa, because Anissa is just the outlier that ruins my whole point here. But if you remove Anissa and you look at the rest of this roster, like 3 years ago, this would have been a pretty good team. 5 years ago, this would have been like a really good team. And 10 years ago, this would have been like one of the best rosters that you could have assembled.
Yeah,
but
10
it is
years ago,
2024.
10 years ago, they would be one of the best teams. I mean, some people would still be in the womb.
Nerys was in middle school.
God. So Era 2, I mean, the females, that is just stacked.
Era 2, I think, out of all 4 teams, is the biggest discrepancy between collective girls and guys, because their girls are awesome. Guys, aside from Bananas, are not so awesome. And it's also arguably the biggest discrepancy between like best 3-4 people and like the rest of the team. Like they're very top heavy and they're very girl heavy just in terms of the power rankings.
And I've been on record as saying whoever has the best girls does the best overall. I think if you look at like a team and let's just chop off the bottom 2 on the guys and the girls, and let's just say that's how it works out. I'm taking a team of Bananas, Nehemiah, and Derek. If it includes Laurel, Emily, and Cara, I'm taking that team over one like an Era 3 that could have Amanda still involved.
So yeah, looking back, like a Rachel, Jody, Tina versus with CT Darrell there. That is just old.
Right. Like Jody and Tina being still in the mix when you still have Cara and Emily in the mix. I don't care what the difference. I think the gap between good girls is much bigger than the gap between good guys.
Mm-hmm. I think Era 3 is the most interesting. The guys are just so damn close. And then the girls, like, there's not like.
Can we just say that Era 3 is going to be a very good team, but they're not going to win it all? Can we say that?
No.
Because that's kind of what this era is. With the outlier of Jordan, this team is made of people who are very good, but not who we expect to win it all. Guys and girls.
I would agree, aside from the fact that like Devin and Tori did just win. So like, what if you have a team that's running the final here for Era 3 that's like Jordan, Devin, Tori, Naya, and maybe Leroy? That's a pretty damn good team.
Yeah, but
I
also like to say that 3 guys and 2 girls.
It would be smaller than that. Yeah, it probably wouldn't be that big.
But like, for instance, in those, I like that top 4, like a Tori, Nia, Naya, Jordan, Devin against Bananas, Nehemiah, Laurel, and Emily. I'm taking this team right. I'm taking Era 2.
Straight up, look at what about this matchup? Laurel and Bananas versus Tori and Jordan.
Can we agree that Era 3 is kind of like the smirkiest team?
It's kind of like the
100%.
Island of Misfits toys.
It's like the most like it has the highest name recognition.
The 7 through 10.
It has the highest entertainment. It has the highest showbiz factor. We've got Tony and Avery on the same team. Team 3 is why I'm watching the show.
Team 3 is very well-rounded. Like, whoever you want to say their weak links are, they're just better than the weak links anywhere else.
Honestly, looking at this team, these guys are pretty well-rounded as well. You take out
Era 4.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty damn good team.
You kind of take now. I don't think this is pretty close.
You look at like the first 3 girls in the first 3 guys, all of them very good, in my opinion.
I'm trying to see.
I
Like,
think this is
if you were to add it
a-
up, what's this? 19.2, 17.6, 20, and then way out. So
26.
it basically goes 4. No, it goes 3, 4, 2 actually in rankings. If you were
3,
to go
4,
off
2,
that.
1.
Yeah.
That's kind of wild.
And as
And
we were,
look what who 2 has. 2 has 1, 2, and 3.
I think era 4, one of my like takes of the season is kind of like, I think the challenge production, we wouldn't have been surprised if they gave us an era 4 team that was much, much worse than this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they kind of have fucked up a lot of the recent seasons. Like it wouldn't have been a surprise if they said Era 4 has, Mariah and Big T and Fezzi and like some other fucking like rookies from last season. Like they gave us, for what Era 4 has usually given us, a pretty damn good group of 10 right here.
Yes, agreed.
Looking at Mikey the Doctor's comment, era 3, if you could replace one person and put Nelly T in, who would you replace? I think I would replace Devin.
I think I would too, almost
Leroy?
just by default.
Here's my take. I would replace Leroy. I love Lee. I do. But I think Lee could belong in era 2, possibly. And I also think Corey, Devin, Jordan, Tony, and Nelly are all genuinely the same era.
Mhm.
Like, I think they all came up together in the same draft class.
Spurs. All right, moving on. Stir the prop. What are we doing for Stir the Prop?
Well, we've done Stir the Prop past 3 seasons where we
Are we
come
doing
up with
2 or are we just doing 1?
one each, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I have one, so I can kind of give you guys some time to stall and think about one. But I think I need some help setting the line here. So
Okay.
basically, for any of our newer listeners or maybe listeners who aren't familiar with this, but we pick something. We pick something, so like a common one is like number of episodes, 18 and a half, whatever the number is. We all pick the line, decide if it's going to be over and under, and then it's just something fun that we can kind of track throughout the season. So mine that I'm going to go with, and I just wanted to pick this because it just kind of goes with like how unpredictable the season is going to be. Such a big cast, such a weird format. Don't know which direction it's going to go. So I don't know if I feel like my line is going to be 3.5. I don't know if that's too high or too low. But 3.5 people who win the season. How many winners are going to cross the finish line? And my first gut was I was between 2.5 and 3.5. But then like you just think about like there's 40 people. So like I could see 4 or 5 people crossing the finish line in first place. I just don't know. I almost feel like the best line is 3, but I don't think we should leave it at that. So what do you guys think? I was just going to throw out 3.5 champions from this season.
I think personally, I know Andy is more of the prop better. I would think I would set the line at 2.5 just because I think it would be a male and female winner. And that's 2, obviously. Or it's going to be a team, which is going to be more than 2.
That's a good point.
In that same scenario, 2.5 and 3.5 are the same.
Not necessarily. There could be a team of 3.
How?
1 person, 2 persons, 3 persons.
You think there's going to be 2 guys and a girl, for instance?
Well, yeah,
Or 2
I think
girls
that's
and
a
guy,
possibility. That's
I like 2.5. I like 2.5.
Okay.
I think that's the right line.
2.5 winners of season 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we give our picks as well?
No.
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go over.
I'm going over as well.
Oh, I thought you meant the picks of who's winning this season.
No.
I thought we were like, we kind of did that already.
You go over or under, Trev? 2.5.
I'm going over 2.5.
So then inherently we have to bump it to 3.5.
It's probably 3.5 then.
Okay.
I'm still going over.
I think I am too.
I'll take the under then.
Okay, so we'll just leave it there.
A team of 3.
Okay. I've got mine. It's an STP staple. It has to be on the list. It's going to be Josh Cries. I want to open the line at 4.5. I don't know how long Josh is going to be on. If he was guaranteed to make it all the way, that number would be like 6.5, so maybe even 7.5. But with not knowing how long he's going to be on, I think 4.5 is a decent start. What do you think?
I think 4.5 is a good number because you said you were leaning a little over that. But I do think that it's a combination of 40 people on the show combined with how long he might be in it. Because like Josh could.
What if we just make our picks and determine the line based on that? So with 4.5 being the number, I have my pick. Do you have yours?
I do.
For what?
For Josh.
Over under 4.5 Josh Cries. That's how we'll find the line.
Yeah, I think I have it.
All right. On the count or on go. 3, 2.
Wait.
1.
On go?
3, 2, 1.
Under.
Under.
All right. 3.5. 3, 2, 1.
Under.
Over. All right. So Trev took the under. We took the over. So I think 3.5's the line.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I think he's gonna cry in under 3 episodes. Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So 3.5 Josh Cries.
Cool. So
Trev.
wait, are both of your lines 3.5?
Yes.
So do I need to find something 3.5? Okay, I'll find something 3.5.
Well, we also got to 3.5 based on what we would do.
Okay, we might get to 3.5 here. I'll set the line at 2.5 right now. On
Give me the over.
any, I don't know the best way to describe it, like any product placement, like Burger King or
Puss in
them
Boots.
winning a special prize with the episode.
Does Puss in Boots count, even though they won't win anything? But
Yes. So any, like
Top
the Top Gun
Gun,
Maverick,
etc.
because like Top Gun Maverick was in the same season as Burger King. Like that's like 2.
Yeah.
2 different episodes.
Okay.
It has to be different episodes. It can't be the same episode counting as 2 things.
Okay. I like it a lot.
I think that's a good line.
Which
I
one?
got my pick.
2.5 or 2.5?
I thought you said 2.5.
2.5. I've got my pick.
Okay.
I got mine.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Over.
Over.
Oh God.
Oh God. 3.5. All right. I got my pick.
3, 2, 1. Under.
Over.
You said over?
I got the over.
I got the under.
All right. 3.5 it is.
3.5s all around.
I bulge.
So we had under 3.5, 3.5s.
That was the over under was 3.5. Oh, that was for the props.
I like those are 3 good ones.
I thought
So
we
we
did
have-
I thought we did like stir the prop where it was like we did 3 like people ones and then 3 like off the record ones.
I think you're thinking of the award show.
Oh, all right.
So we have number
We
of winners, Josh Cries, and product placements.
We could do 3 additional, essentially like 0.5s, like yes or no's.
Well, yeah, we can do pregnancy.
I mean, that could be one. If we want to do yes or no's, I have one.
I think we pick one as a group
Okay.
to give us a fourth prop since Mitos isn't here.
I
Okay.
got a bananas one, like a crazy one that I don't think is going to happen, but it's like I would be 0.5 yes.
Is it about Johnny or is it just crazy?
It's crazy.
Okay.
But it's about bananas.
No, it's not about bananas, but it is bananas.
What is it?
Over under 0.5 other co-hosts than TJ Lavin show up on this season. It's the 40th anniversary. You got to think they'd be pulling some of the shit out. Like they just bring them on for one episode or something crazy like that. I'm still taking the under, but how wild would that be?
That would be nuts. You're
Will
falling
they-
too much into your passing of the torch theme?
Yes, I agree. Will they do? I don't think this is a good prop because my answer would be over. But will they do trivia?
Yes.
Yes.
They didn't do it last year.
Yes.
People forget that.
I think mine that I was thinking of was over under 0.5 fights
Fights?
where someone gets kicked off. I kind of like the over. I think we got a lot of egos. We got a lot of people with some background of, I'm an OG. I know the challenge. I'm a new buck. I know the challenge. You're 40 years old. I think we could see a fight.
I think that's a really good prop for us to do as our fourth one because I think the two schools of thought are what you just laid out versus the challenge being just so against fighting, so against violence over the past 10 years, whatever it's been. And so it if they're in this era of the challenge, if there was ever going to be a fight, it would happen on a show that has 40 people of all different ages, different backgrounds, all of that. So I kind of like that one.
I got a parlay, two things together at showing up episode 1. During the introductions, it's like, hey, my name is Johnny Bananas. I've been on 25 seasons. For Bananas and CT, we both see the banana backpack and we see the take the money and run, episode 1.
I don't know if we see either.
I think we see neither.
You think neither?
I think that's a double fade parlay.
I
think throughout the season we might see one of them.
Dude,
But
I think the
episode one
season's going to
seeing
be
both.
I think the season's going to be very like All-Stars-esque, showing flashbacks left and right. Like, it's the 40th anniversary. They're going to play off of that so much.
God, so is the fourth prop then fights?
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, what the question then becomes: what do we define as a fight? Does someone have to get sent home for it,
Yes.
does a fight equal someone gets sent home or an actual punch is thrown?
I think someone either gets sent home or security has to get heavily involved. Not just like get in the way, hold me back, but like heavily involved.
That's the thing, is because I feel like in the past few seasons we've had like Fezzi doing the hold me back, and like security will come in there, and then TJ is mad at him the next day.
So like Jordan doing the whole turbo walk does not count.
I think Jordan doing the turbo walk would count because security had to get Turbo the fuck away from him. Otherwise, he was going to kill him. That was like, in my mind, that's a great example. I think that's a real security gets involved.
Okay.
Versus Fezzi's bullshit.
So if security gets involved, chalk her up.
But really involved. And I think we can all come to agreement on that.
Or automatic.
I think we set the precedent now of security get involved like a turbo walk counts, but security get involved like we've seen the past like 2 years, none of that counts.
God. All right, sounds good.
Yeah, if someone is sent home, if someone gets punched, that's for sure 100% yes. If security is involved, then we have to do, I think, a case-by-case basis.
We have to have a discussion.
We'll go VAR.
Yeah. VAR. And then it becomes an easy 2-1 vote.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, I think that's our fourth prop.
All right. Anything else on tonight?
I think that's all we have in terms of the power rankings, the teams, the scouting reports. We've been doing this for almost 3 hours now.
I mean, I don't know how much I got left in me, Tej, but I'm excited.
It's 3 weeks from tomorrow.
We still have 3 weeks?
Why'd we do this so early? This is like drafting a fantasy football team in July.
Well, this is part 1.
Oh, come on. This was the pre show.
God. All right. Well, I'm pumped. Let's have a good season.
This is gonna be the best season in Stir the Pod history, I think.
I agree.
Yeah. So is that it? No MVP, LVP? I thought we always did an MVP, LVP.
I think we gotta wait till episode 1.
Yeah.
Okay,
you got to earn your stripes.
Alex, because he hasn't been on in how many episodes? Alex is very Era 1-esque.
Was Alex on last
Watch
season?
it.
Wait. How would we rank us with Adam Meadows? I think Andy's got to be Era 4, obviously. Alex is probably Era 1. I'm Era 2. Adam Era 3. Andy Era 4.
Wait. How are you? What are you ranking this
In
on?
terms of what?
Who you
co-host.
want to win, or who you think's gonna win?
No, like Stir the Pod host.
Like the eras of Stir the Pod.
Yes. Maybe I guess me and Alex would be actually together in Era 1 because BMFEP.
Does Meadows deserve a spot on the list
He might be Era 2.
as
He
a
might be-
co-host?
He was on for a full season. People forget that. And then,
Was he?
never mind. We'll get into it. You might be Era 3, Andy, honestly. You're just like the Devons, the Tonys, the
Jordans. Yeah, you're right.
No,
I'm
you're
calling
not.
it
You're not.
Jordan. You're right. Good call. Good call.
No. Oh, come on. All right. With that being said, thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I've been your host, Trevor. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can follow us on Instagram at Stir_the. Thank you guys.
Thank
Love
you
you guys.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.
Shout out, Duffy. Love you
Love you
guys.
guys.
Bye. Love you
Love
guys.
you guys.
Love you guys.
Son of a-
Love you guys.